Putting up smart mark system. Microphones check. Soundboard check. Recording and streaming software check. Production sheets check. Smart mark hosts check. All systems are a go. Tuesday night SmackDown, you are clear for broadcast.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Welcome to SmackDown. Tonight we have our usual. Wait, no, we don't have our usual hosts. We are without our heavy Brian. A heavy heart out to him who is injured on the bench. Either that or Brian got new hips and lost all his hair. We thank Ross and Rob. We're going to call him tonight, joining us. Yay! Working the board. We got our queen, Kiera, as always. And of course, we have a guest host joining our panel. He is the better looking of our two Memphis correspondents, but not by much. Please welcome back once again, Bob, to our Marked Out family. Hey, Bob, you there?
Hey, Bob.
Yes, I am.
All right, we have Bob. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get right into it, we got a little housekeeping to do.
Housekeeping!
No, thank you. Sleep it.
Housekeeping!
Come back in an hour.
Here are your Marked Out Wrestling housekeeping notes. You can join us on our website at markedoutwrestling.com, on Twitter at SmartMarkShow, Facebook.com/markedout1, YouTube channel, Marked Out Wrestling Podcast, where we broadcast live every Monday following Raw, our Google Plus page, Marked Out Wrestling Podcast, Instagram, Marked Out Wrestling, and our U-Record Studio Smart Line, 704-444-0084.
Get connected. Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
Housekeeping, you want me to jerk you up?
What kind of hotel is this? Door.
Oh, it's you.
Can you dig it, sucker, sucker?
All right, not to steal anybody's thunder, I just want to come out and let everybody know here, I'm working the board, our Brian's gone, we're having some technical problems that I'm going to have to work through. So, we apologize for tonight, we'll deal with it, something Windows updates, something Brian can't handle it, something the dog chewing on wires, something Kiera's rock, I don't know, something's wrong, I don't know. So, go ahead, Adam, it's your show.
All right, guys, we're going to get right into it. Every time I hear the...
I like it. This is an absolute disaster. Adam, this is your show.
Right. Great segue, right, Bob. Every time I hear the housekeeping thing, because the movie came out when I was 18, my dad used to quote that shit all the time when he would try and wake me up because I'm 18, it's my first summer off school, and just sleep until like 4 in the afternoon. He comes home and he just screams that all the time. Anyway.
So did you get a little bit of a chub because I got housekeeping on time?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Come on, don't talk Brian. He's hurt. He's on the bench.
Oh, fuck it.
I gotta save my insults for Brian when I'm face to face with him. So we're gonna get into everything just like normal. We're gonna start with the Mud Report. We're gonna do This Week in Wrestling History. We got our 3 key ingredients tonight: best and worst. We're gonna do a little CWC reaction. Make me care. I'm gonna try my hand at trivia again while Brian is absent. I got an asylum for you. Bob and I came up with a segment, but it didn't cooperate with us. We'll see how that goes over. We'll do our SummerSlam predictions and final thoughts and call it a show. And what was that?
Sorry,
what was that fake, Brian?
I thought that was your cue. Go ahead.
All right. So now we're going to go into the Mud Report. So I don't know if you guys covered it because I don't think all the details had come out when you guys were broadcasting on Raw, but a fan hit the ring during Seth Rollins' promo on Finn Balor during this week's episode. Credit to Seth for playing it off a little bit, going, oh, you think that's the Demon King? That's not the Demon King. Yeah. Apparently the guy that ran into the ring bit one of the security officers. He was charged with assault and criminal trespass. I actually got to watch the...
Have you seen the cell phone video from the stands?
Yeah, I got to watch that. I mean, he kind of just slid into the ring and looked like he got in his face to say something. It was Rollins, in fact, who pushed off the guy, and then the guy got, really, if you look at it, you ever seen when the guy's standing near the ropes and the guy outside the ring grabs his ankles and pulls him so he does a face plant and drags him out?
Yeah.
That's what security did to the guy.
Oh, he did? Yeah.
Yeah, they just grabbed his feet and yanked him out of the ring because Seth kind of pushed him back far enough for them to do it.
There was a definite delay. I mean, you notice he got all the way from the stands through the little fucking outside area into the ring, up in his face, and then there was still like a 1, 2, 3 before you actually saw a security guard anywhere in the camera picture. So somebody was sleeping on the job just a little bit.
And I called out the fake security a few weeks ago when Brock got into the ring, but this was real security looking just as lax. And, anybody who wants to give Seth Rollins shit, I will defend him here. Who knows what that guy's going to do? He could have a knife. He could be doing something crazy.
There are reports that this guy was armed.
Okay, so
Seth stayed in character.
Well, no, Seth did break character for about a minute, and then he rolled with it. And quite honestly, I'm impressed that he bounced back as quickly as he did, because that got very real, or could be very real. Your guard is down. You're playing a character. You're on live TV.
You don't know what to do.
Yeah, the fact that he went silent and didn't really break kayfabe and kind of then built it in, I thought was a great job by Rollins. I don't know if you guys talked about it too much.
Well, I know. We saw it happen. We thought at first it could have been a work, something was going on, and then we realized, no, it's just some guy getting tackled in the ring. And like I said, he played it off. He worked right into the routine like nothing went wrong. But that could be a scary moment.
It really could. And that's why I give him so much props for doing everything he could. Did you see it, Kieran?
No, I didn't catch that footage.
Okay.
But I heard about it. Yeah, it's just crazy.
What did they say he was armed with, Rob? I didn't hear that part of the
I heard reports of a knife, but that was one report out of several, so that could have been just a hearsay.
Well, what else did you hear? Like, what else did he have?
That's all I heard. I heard that maybe he had a knife.
That's kind of scary.
Again, you get 20 reports. One of them is wrong. So,
and you remember, I know this is completely not wrestling related, but Monica Seles had a fan come out, Steffi Graf fan or something, that came out and stabbed Monica Seles in a match. So you never know.
Yeah, Tiny Hardy, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, got very real. Next thing on the Mud Report. Peter Rosenberg interviewed CM Punk on Hot 97 regarding Conor McGregor and his trolling WWE superstars. And Punk said he wasn't surprised that there are tough guys in wrestling, but you don't have to be tough in the WWE locker room anymore. It's not like it used to be back in the day. And what shocked Punk was the number of WWE superstars who bought into it, who played into it. They kind of bought into that work.
They're the professionals of doing that. They should know.
Well, I mean, but he included even Ric Flair, who is an older guy, getting into it on Twitter.
That's really digging in.
He called it embarrassing. What do you think, Kiera?
I mean, my whole thing about this is, why is Conor McGregor, why is he digging so much into WWE superstars? Does he have nothing else better to do? He's like one of the top UFC guys. Like,
Bob, you had some comments last week you want to address, Kiera's?
I'm not surprised the guys bought into it because they're incredibly protective of it. And if they're smart, they see that Conor McGregor is future talent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Huh?
No, I just saying absolutely. I mean, it's a clear work. You got a contract with ESPN and WWE. You got a contract with ESPN and UFC. ESPN is the middleman here, the pivot point for all the talk back and forth. So, I mean, this is an obvious work. Conor's working an angle, and I wouldn't be surprised if this goes all the way up to the top of WWE. This is the Vince.
So this, okay, because I'm kind of like behind on this. So this is the work. So WWE is working with Conor McGregor.
Well, I know we don't know.
We feel that Conor McGregor is trying to make it a work. We don't know if Dana and Vince have anything to do with it.
Okay, good.
I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think this is Conor McGregor going into business for himself.
Well, yeah, he's soliciting his services right now is what he's doing.
It's not a bad strategy.
I don't know.
And then the final thing, Bob, I want you kind of to respond to this on the Mud Report. There was a photo of Undertaker walking around with a cane, and it got all over Instagram this past weekend, and everybody was speculating that Undertaker's done. And then he responded, "Fear not, I was just using my friend's cane, the friend who took the picture. No big deal." I mean, do you think everybody made a big deal out of this? Do you think it actually is something worth notating?
I think people ought to recognize the fact that he's a 50-year-old man who has put his body through hell. There have been a lot of Grandpa Taker photos come out recently.
54.
Him at a golf shop, him wearing, like, these fugly-ass sandals. Like, there's no biker Taker left anymore. There's no deadman anymore. This is just a 50-year-old guy who's enjoying retirement.
Yeah, he did look like what he was wearing gear-wise. He looked like he was ready for Saturday football. He did not look like, I'm going to sit on my porch and watch.
Where he's wearing the wetsuit.
No, I didn't see that one.
Not a good look. Not a good look.
Oh, so him and his wife, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look at all. Not a good look.
Oh, you got something coming in on that?
Yeah, Upload Test just wanted to chime in on McGregor, saying McGregor could be the surprise interference guy during the Orton-Lesnar match to cost Brock the match.
You know what?
Goldberg.
I don't know if that's, there has been rumblings lately online of Lesnar and Goldberg getting into it in social media. I don't know, Upload Test, if that's actually a reality or a possibility, but that would be amazing.
Hell yeah.
I don't think that, I mean, honestly, this isn't one of Vince's guys going into Dana's world. Dana is not going to let one of his guys go into Vince's world. He allowed, like at Mania when Rousey was in there, she kind of muscled up to a non-wrestler. Dana's not going to risk the integrity of his sport by letting one of his guys get involved in something that's predetermined.
Well, that's true, and he is still on a card.
But how much control does Dana have anymore?
Exactly.
His job remained the same.
But even with the ownership change, he has as much say as he used to.
He didn't sell his 10%.
I don't know. What else we got?
Upload Test just says, this is good. I wouldn't interrupt for anything unless it was good, but instead of crutches, maybe he uses a cane.
Wow.
Did he spell it right?
He did.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Well, that is our Mud Report. We're now going to go on to this day in wrestling history. A little group segment we have here. We're going to read off some of the things that happened on this day of past. I'm going to start us off 12 years ago today on Raw. Randy Orton defeated Chris Benoit to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. He had won it the night before on SummerSlam to win his first ever title and become the youngest champion. What's very memorable about the Raw that he retained his title is Evolution came out, Batista hoisted him up on his shoulders. They seemingly celebrated. I know Bob and Kerry, you remember this. And then Triple H's thumbs up quickly went to a thumbs down. Batista gave Orton an electric chair drop. They beat the shit out of him. And it marked what most people forget about is by doing this, that made Orton instantly face. And he would actually remain face all the way till the next year's WrestleMania, even though he would lose the title the next month at SummerSlam to Triple H. It was the first time Randy went face. Thought it worth mentioning with all the Randy stuff going on.
That's a good one. That was today in wrestling.
That was today. Bob, what do you got for us on today?
7 years ago, TNA had a pay-per-view, and it had it right in the middle of its meteoric decline.
When they added the
It
Legends title.
had Kurt Angle versus Matt Morgan and Sting, and of course Kurt Angle with his completely destroyed neck retained the title. And Kevin Nash got put over someone who was more talented than him. So, good times in TNA.
Yeah, the back in the day, I think the decline in TNA is right about the time when they added the Legends Championship. That was when they started getting far-fetched. They existed with the Knockout title, the Heavyweight, the X Division, and tags for so long. Adding that Legends title, and literally
totally forgot about that title.
Dude, that made it a geriatric division. It was like Kevin Nash, Booker T, Scott Steiner, Mick Foley fighting over it. Do you remember that, Kira?
Yes.
Oh,
Have you heard about the new title they're doing?
I don't. I'm afraid to ask.
Okay, so they're retiring the King of the Mountain title,
Oh, thank God.
which is its own nonsense. But now they're about to have a tournament where the wrestling style is done in rounds. And you could actually, lose the wrestling match by decision.
What?
That's so stupid.
Come on now, that's too far.
I wish to God I was making that up.
All right, well, that was a worthless bit of TNA information. It makes me feel a little better about watching SmackDown.
We really should do a TNA show. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just curious. The King of the Mountain title, is that for that stupid match being you watched that on DVD?
It was. That's where it was derived from. That I tried to show Rob Bob that King of the Mountain nonsense. Oh, what a pile of dog crap! You got to pin a guy goes to the penalty box, and you got to hang the belt in a reverse ladder match. And you don't know.
I actually liked the concept of the King of the Mountain match.
How did you keep track? If you were a fan, how did you keep track of that crap? Like, who had the pin? Who could put the belt up? Who couldn't? It was
actually, when you were watching it, it made as much sense as any other group wrestling match. But I enjoyed it. I don't think they did, and they didn't overuse it. It wasn't like the Ultimate X match where
because it was so terrible. There was no overusing it.
I disagree with you.
All right.
And by the way, nobody sounds like robots anymore.
Hey,
awesome.
Oh, wow.
Rob must have fixed it.
I don't know what I've done, but I'm very happy to have done it.
Rob dropped the OT from his robot. Kira, what do you got for this day?
Okay, so 15 years ago today, WWE presented its first ever, then WWF, live episode of SmackDown. It debuted its new theme, The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson, my favorite SmackDown theme.
Oh, that was that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a new set with a large fist breaking through glass. Highlight matches. They had Rock defeated Shawn Stasiak. X Factor, Albert and X-Pac defeated Tajiri and William Regal. Rhino and Rob Van Dam defeated Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy. Chris Kanyon and Diamond Dallas Page defeated Edge and Christian.
Who better than Canyon?
Kurt Angle.
Better than Canyon?
That's pretty good, Bob. Kurt Angle defeated Taz. Man, good freaking matches. They
had a Canyon mark. I'm not gonna lie.
Canyon mark. Booker T and the main event for this show was Booker T and The Rock. They went in a no contest and a lights out match. And
was that the main event if it was a lights out match?
This was the main event, and this was right before SummerSlam 2001.
You know what I'm saying.
Now the
giggity.
Now the significance of this match, if you've noticed, if you remember this match, lights never went out. But the thing was, Rock got his lights knocked out when Booker bookended him on the announcer's table.
Yeah, he hit his face a little hard and didn't. He was done.
So
you know why they call it a lights out match?
You know why?
Because it was after.
Yeah, you know why?
After it went off the air.
It has nothing to do with the lights.
No, it was after it went off the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing with
unsanctioned match.
Wait, what I missed?
I tried to see if Rob was paying attention. He didn't pick up on it either. And Bob, you're on the phone, so I didn't have facial cues with you. But yeah, the lights out and why it was when I was jokingly said, "Oh, that was the main event." It was after they went off air. That's what they mean by a lights out match.
Oh,
it wasn't because
you fucked her over. That's called a dark match. That's a dark match.
Well, yes, but on the source I got this from listed as
they
meant a dark match.
Yeah, technically a dark match, but
that's why Rock was on the card twice.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, finish us off.
You disrespectful, stupid idiot.
All right.
Stupid idiot.
Great time in wrestling, though.
Stupid idiot.
Awesome time in wrestling.
All right, Rob's turn. 6 years ago today, at a Raw taping in Los Angeles, California, Sheamus defeated Zack Ryder in just 11 seconds to retain the WWE Championship. It's the fastest WWE World Title match in Raw history. The record still stands today. Woo, poor you, Zach.
Shouldn't it be like at this point, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa. Whoa, botch coming soon. Have you ever seen him live?
I actually have seen him live. He was part of that ridiculous at the Mania I saw that the Miz won. where it was like John Laurinaitis, and there was like 10 guys from each show.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase the question. So you've seen him in a larger event.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, you've never seen him live at like a house show.
No, I don't think
Performing,
I don't think if I did, he was very forgettable.
Okay. Me and Kira were fortunate enough when we were down in Florida to go to one of the NXT shows, and a little armory, no deeper than 4 rows.
Live show.
Yeah, we got to see. You get to see him work, up close like that. And with those indie rings, they got the spring and the bounce and the give,
Yes.
and so they really got it's tough on the guys. But my point here is getting to see Zack Ryder, from 5 feet away in a small hall, see him work was actually a really telling experience. It really made me appreciate him a lot more. He's a really good worker, and he's really high energy. He when he sells his moves and his falls, he takes them at full speed and at full force. The TV does not do him justice.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's when I'd start to gain my appreciation for Zach as well. He's a hell of a performer, if you ask me. And that was during the Hype Bros tag team time in NXT.
Well, tonight in the Finisher Bonanza, that was the 12-man tag match. You know how normally when he goes for the broski boot, he does the fist pump, woo, woo, woo. He just comes running in the ring out of nowhere when I think it was Victor got just thrown into the ring, seemingly set up for a Bronco Buster. And then out of nowhere, Zack Ryder just comes running into the ring and delivered a really, really quick boot. It was kind of like a boot out of nowhere. And it was it was the only out of all the finishers in that sequence that I saw, it was one of the more memorable ones, unless it was the tag team ones.
All right then.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to our.
What you need to make a good SmackDown is your 3 key ingredients.
So our 3 key ingredients tonight are as follows. We're going to get into them. I'm going to just list them off real quick, and then we'll get into them one by one. The heel-face title conundrum. Tonight, the opening promo on Miz TV between Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose was like a battle back and forth of who could be heel. Who could be face? Who could be heel? And the way they went back and forth, it was just hard to tell. We're going to delve into that a little bit. Number 2, bye-bye Cena, with a big question mark there. Is Cena taking some time off? Does that already leave, AJ with a, I'm going to beat you? Is that kind of foreshadowing tonight with the Del Rio references? We'll see. And then number 3, roll call. Because there are no Divas matches, and because there are no tag matches at SummerSlam, they decided to trot the entire division out together. Is Bob eating something?
What are you doing,
Bob?
Bob?
Stop eating into the microphone.
I didn't do anything. I just turned my phone. I just plugged my phone in.
I do things.
Oh, yeah, we heard
Bob's
all of
doing
that.
something in the background. So,
right.
number one is
One.
number one is the heel face title conundrum. Kira, you got to watch this tonight. Bob, I know you saw it. Rob, you'll kind of can react to us talking about it. Basically, they each came out. Dolph said, "It's my time. I could come out here." And he goes, "I'm just the better guy." And then 2 minutes later, he's talking about, I could make excuses about how they didn't put me over and stuff like that, trying to tug at our heartstrings like a face. Dean was doing the exact same thing, bouncing back and forth. Is it because they really don't know who the heel and who the face is in this match? Or is it because they don't know what the fuck to do with the two of them?
They don't know what to do with the two of them.
Because they've put on a good match before, but they could not put on a good rivalry. They had KO in the mix the last time these guys were kind of working together.
It's kind
The
of
problem is you have a character with Dean Ambrose who doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks, so there's a smugness to it. And then you have a character with Dolph who is arrogant, so there's a smugness to that. So you have this smug versus smug, and it just doesn't. There is no face, and there's no heel, and there's not anybody. It's just two guys who believe that they're the best, but because of their attitude, it just comes off. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah, I'll play into that with Bob, but I didn't see this, but what it sounds like to me is, and my problem with both Ziggler and Ambrose is their character, and they don't sell me on a character. They're so wishy-washy on what they want to be and who they want to be and who they want to portray that it seems half the time they're contradicting their own style. to me, they're not defined, and they need to be defined. Stone Cold, Rock, Triple H were all very defined. Even if they weren't face heel, they were defined as characters. And Ambrose and Ziggler have been nothing but a constant search for that character.
I agree with that, Rob, on the Ziggler front. As far as Ambrose is concerned, until he got the title, I didn't feel this way. I do agree with you ever since he got the title because he doesn't know what to do with the title. Like, his character was so perfect when he was always being the bridesmaid, hunting for it, trying to get so close, desperate, if you will. Very consistent. Now he has it. He doesn't know if he wants to strut around like he's king of the mountain or if he wants to be the crazy loony guy that could lose it any second. Like, the belt is what has, in my opinion, and I'm a huge, so I'm going to criticize him hard, but the belt has made me question Dean Ambrose a little bit because he doesn't know what to do now that he's, got that brass ring he's been chasing after.
I think he's like a really mellow Stone Cold.
Bob, we got a GM announcement. Hold on.
Just Upload Test coming in. Upload Test said they didn't get that much of a heel vibe. Just sounded like two intense individuals. I thought it was a strong promo. And Miz came out looking the weakest because he wasn't allowed to talk. Okay,
no,
so
I definitely agree.
Yeah, Miz went back into the
promo.
corner at one point, which I've never seen him do on Miz TV. He just went to the corner and sat back and started laughing.
But going to Ambrose, and I'll get back to you, Bob. I'm sorry, but Ambrose, to me, needs to go heel because to me, if he's going to find that hardcore identity as a champion, the face role is not going to get it for him. He needs to get respect for all the hard work he put in, and he needs to show everybody that I did it on my own. Even when you were supporting me, I was losing nonstop, and now I got it. You know what? I don't need you. I never did.
Okay, but all right. So, and this is something that me and my buddies used to argue with all the time. So yes, I agree with you. He should go heel. Whose ass does he whoop that we would give a damn about and dislike him enough for whipping his ass?
Maybe he does it on it. Before we're jumping ahead for a second here before we finish this topic, but maybe it's Cena. If Cena's getting ready to take some time off the shelf and go on a break after this, maybe next Tuesday, Ambrose, after losing the title, goes apeshit on Cena and goes full on heel before his rematch with Ziggler.
But you don't think destroying Cena would make him more loved by the fans?
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody like it used to be, like JR. And JR was the perfect whipping boy. Whenever Austin needed to go heel, he knew there was only one ass he could whip to make people hate him. And that was JR.
So are you suggesting
why he whipped JR's ass like 3 times?
Are you suggesting Dean just goes back to that announce table, that interview table, and just beats the shit out of Renee Young? You said there's
Renee
one
Young.
ass that he can beat to get. I mean, JR's gone.
But I mean, is it?
Well, he's beating that ass every night.
I mean, Prodigy comes on,
SmackDown
smack my bitch up. He just starts hitting her back there. No, then he'll end up like Adam Rose.
I'd like to say something.
Say something.
I honestly think that Dean and Dolph just don't have any chemistry when it comes to a rivalry. You got Dean, like you said, he's that, on one end, he's that crazy person that could go off at any second. And then he's very mellow at the same time with, I just don't give a fuck. And then Dolph is just so intense and he's just screaming out and like wanting to be heard that, hey, I'm the underdog. I deserve this.
He's the kid raising his hand.
Exactly.
Call me.
I deserve this
I know the
opportunity.
answer.
I deserve this championship. And they just don't feed off of each other.
It's a good point. They're too much alike, so they can't complement each other with their differences.
Well,
that's how I feel about it.
The other thing to consider in my mind is very simply this: if Dean Ambrose, maybe this was a test tonight to see who goes heel and who goes face. I'm not sure. Like Bob has said before, these are we don't know what to do with all stars. So maybe they're just stuck in the middle, and creative has not pulled the plug. I mean, we do know that creative controls these characters to a certain extent. The guys make suggestions, but they have to sign off on them. They make suggestions for match endings and things like that. We also know, because I remember Randy used to be a very good wrestler, very technical, lots of moves, and then they started limiting his moveset. I've heard rumors they did that to Punk. They did it to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Is these two guys, and Rob, I can't believe you didn't jump on this grenade earlier. These two guys in a match, have put on a great match. They've put on great little exchanges, great reversals, but the rivalry was sold by KO and Dean cutting promos. Even if you didn't like Dean's crazy, KO played off of it, and it went back and forth, and they just had Ziggles be the whipping boy that they each wrestled while the other was at the announce table.
I disagree. I do not think they put on a good match. I think they put on a technical match where they showcased a very well choreographed, or however you want to say it, choreographed entanglement between the two. But what they lack in their matches is storytelling. Dolph Ziggler and Dean lack storytelling.
You keep saying that, and I can't disagree with you more.
Thank you, Bob.
Dolph Ziggler can tell a story,
but he tells the same story
better than anybody else on the roster today.
Oh,
but everybody liked
I'm getting
him.
my ass whooped, and I'm the underdog, and I'm going to fight back and win just by the skin of my cunt
Shawn
hair.
Michaels made a career out of that.
That is true.
Unfortunately, and this is where we get
Daniel
the
Bryan
winner
made a career out of it.
What's that,
I'm sorry,
Bob?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go, Bob.
All right. This is where we're eating into my winner and loser for the night. But the problem with Dolph is Dolph is one of the more gifted wrestlers on the roster. But unfortunately, and Shawn Michaels even called him out on it on the Legends show, with JBL, I think it was Legends, where he said, Dolph has to stop being me, basically. And that's the problem that he has, is he keeps reverting back to being another Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, it's very, very obvious from all the move sets. I wish he wouldn't use a super kick and an elbow drop.
I actually like that super kick tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
awesome.
using a super kick and an elbow drop, and he's trying to be like him.
No, he is nothing like Shawn Michaels.
He isn't, but I think
No.
he's
He's a
trying to.
photocopy.
No, fuck no.
No. Listen.
Wait. Let me just get this
I don't
out.
think he's like Shawn Michaels at all.
Yeah.
In the ring,
but I
he
do
is,
think he's
he
trying
is.
to portray. Yeah.
Well,
In
fine,
the ring,
but
he is.
you guys keep
not
focusing.
charisma.
Look,
not
you guys keep
character.
focusing on what he does in the ring, and I'm talking about his overall character when it comes in the storylines and how he plays and how he tells the story. And Shawn Michaels was a confident over guy that, you know what, he's coming at you knowing he's better than you, and he's gonna
That
take
is
you
the
down.
difference.
And Dolph Ziggler is always that I'm the best, but I gotta fight from the bottom.
Yeah,
kind of
Shawn
thing.
just took it.
But that's the character that kind of got forced on him. When he first had his title run, back when he was with Vicky, he had this amazing, and it was a Shawn Michael persona. And then all of a sudden, he got knocked to the bottom for a reason that nobody understood. He went from the top to like
Now, I
low
will agree with
mid-card
Bob on that.
and had to fight his way out to where you have this character now that has to have this chip on his shoulder of, and I think it's a very real chip on his shoulder of, I am having to fight my way up from the bottom. And he said it tonight. I could keep going back.
But Bob, why does
Wait,
he keep falling to the bottom? Why does he get the push to the top and then fall to the bottom? Has to fight back up all the time. Why? Because
Vince.
he can't. Well, but why?
You weren't watching it during
because
that time, I don't
he
think.
can't hold the character that they need him to hold in that position.
I might actually have the answer to this, because at the end of the day, he was still a member of the Spirit Squad.
I don't think anybody cares about that anymore. I honestly don't.
Everybody remembers that. I remember that. That'll never go out of my memory.
I think he's graduated. From
Yeah,
that
he has
one.
moved well past that. That is not. I don't think that defines him. It's not like
Then it's simply he's not Vince's guy.
Well,
he's not Vince's guy.
Yeah,
Vince has his picks. We all know that.
Well, if he wasn't Vince's guy, then he wouldn't still be there as long as he's been there. But Upload Test had a good point yesterday that he's reiterating now. He said, I said yesterday Ziggler is a new 5-star jobber like Shawn Michaels, where his job is essentially now to come in and put those names over.
He's talking about at the end of Michael's career, like
Right.
when he came back and got a smile back.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly right.
No.
Well,
That's not what it was. Sean dominated. his last few years.
Sean had one
No,
title
when he
reign.
first came back after the smile show.
Oh, after
he got beat
okay,
by
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. No, you guys are right.
He got a title reign because Triple H made a call in the middle of
Yeah.
the match with a busted trachea from courtesy of RVD. Otherwise, Michaels never was in the title picture. He was putting everybody over except for when he put Flair out. Like, that was his only thing when he came back. He was in a lot of matches, but unlike Cena, he was the designated guy to put people over while Cena and Orton were crushing everybody. I think we're done with this topic. Let's go on to number 2.
2.
Bye-bye Cena with a question mark. Do we think he's gone, Kiara? You're a big Cena fan, right?
If he is, I'd be relieved.
Supposedly he's, his schedule has been crazy from the SBs to all the other stuff he's done. Supposedly he's getting ready to take 2 months off. The reason I'm bringing you into this first is we're getting ready for some Total Diva bullshit. And I imagine that he's got to go film that along with some other movie.
They're doing another show for the Divas, right?
Some underwear commercial. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, they are getting ready to do isn't it a
the Bellas?
Yeah. So I'm sure
Spin-off, yeah.
I'm sure he's part of that. Do you think Cena's gone after SummerSlam for a couple months?
I think he's slowly starting to dwindle away, and I think he's starting to accept it. A year ago, I remember him when he was like one of the first people on Stone Cold's podcast saying that, I will never go away from WWE. I'll do this until I die. But I think he's starting to accept that there's a lot of new talent coming in. I need to get the fuck out the picture. I'm not that relevant anymore. He's not that relevant
you know
anymore.
what he is?
He's a spokesperson.
No, he's one of those little Somalian kids on the commercial, and you're handing him a sandwich because he's starving, but he's like, no, I don't. I'm not hungry. No, I don't
he's stubborn.
Right. Look, you've got what The Rock got. You've got a future ahead of you. You are set to go. You need to move on while the picking is good.
And that's the difference between Rock and him.
Yeah,
Rock
he needs to go.
Rock easily thrived off of that. He accepted his talent and he went on and he made bukus of money in the movie industry. Cena, it took him a little while. I think he's starting to get it
there now.
But last year, Cena put over KO and he put over Seth Rollins.
But is that surprising?
No, it's not. It is surprising that he put over two guys that now this year, 1 year later, are huge successes that we all love. And if Cena can hang around for a couple more years and give me a few more Rollins or KO kind of guys that he puts over in that way, and because he puts them over, Vince then signs off, Triple H and everybody else sign off. I actually would want Cena to stick around for
guy.
Yeah, you say Eplotez saying that Cena's like Hogan. It might be more appropriate comparison with Hogan. Yeah, Hogan. It was time to go.
Absolutely, that's the comparison.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with that.
You've ran it for a decade.
But if he stays around in a legend-type role with 3 months on, like he comes in from Rumble to Mania and wants to do something, fine. I'm fine with that. He can put somebody over at Mania, maybe break and fucking win a match. Maybe it's against Cena at Mania in a Legends contract. I don't fucking know, but I'm done with Cena full-time. The big reason I put this as a topic, guys, because I agree with everybody. I'm done with Cena full-time unless he's to put people over. What happens to SmackDown without Cena?
Somebody steps up.
Yeah.
They were expecting Shelton to come. We now got a promo for Kurt Hawkins. That's not going to fill the void.
So, you know what happens? Samoa Joe gets brought up to SmackDown.
I was thinking of something like that, too.
You need that.
We need that. That is my point.
We still have AJ.
But we need something. Yeah, but AJ is tied to Cena right now. Cena takes a step away and AJ becomes triumphant. That's great.
And honestly, AJ's not all that great of a heel.
Well, no, actually, yeah, you're absolutely right. AJ should be a face. And he said after he beats Cena, he'll be the face that runs the place. It could be that is a work or precursor because Cena, he basically turned heel to attack Cena, and he could go right back to face, especially with the club being on the other show being heels. He could distance himself and go back face.
I think there's going to be a club SmackDown and a club Raw. I think we're on the verge. If they do this right, and it seemed like they were going to, I think they could be on the verge of an NWO type angle.
Wow. I mean,
But,
I
mean,
thought
they've
that.
got all these guys on NXT that they're not using right now that are friends of AJ Styles, both from the other company and Japan.
Bob, I gotta interrupt you for 1 second. You're allowed to say TNA on here. You don't have to say the other company. Go ahead and finish your point.
Yeah, I could see there being a takeover angle. I think AJ's a great heel as a faction member, not as an individual.
That's a good point.
It never worked because he's too small and too Kentucky to make me believe these.
Are you talking in a heel sense?
Yeah,
that's what he said. Heel is a faction.
Okay.
He's a better heel as a member of a faction or a leader of a faction.
His best promos were some of the last few he cut with Gallows and Anderson, where they were doing all that stuff. I'm gonna go home, make love to my hot Asian wife,
beat up John Cena.
And I mean, the Gallows and Anderson have been killing it in the promos with the ring postitis and stuff like that. Where AJ has, I'll agree with Bob's point. He's fallen a little flat. You know, trying to do the heel thing without Gallows and Anderson, it's not as good.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen it. And I just, it's just one of the things I just know.
Yeah.
Upload Test says if Cena stays away long enough, maybe that will make a Cena heel turn even fresher, a fresher angle. 5 years down the line when it could happen.
Oh gosh, we're on this shit again.
He's not going to happen.
He's not going to go heel. He doesn't
I'm
have the
sorry,
he
Upload
doesn't have the
Test,
balls.
but I'm just not trying to entertain it. I
He's
could care
3
less.
words.
Yeah, he's got ring postitis.
Okay, if he turns heel, then what? Then everyone's gonna love him, or what?
There's
We're not gonna
3
hate
words
Cena.
of why he will never be heel.
Yeah. What's the 3
Make
words?
a wish.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make a wish.
I
He
mean,
will never go heel because that is his. That's yeah.
yeah,
It's the reason why he doesn't want kids in real life is because he sees that shit all the time. Make a wish that's as close as he wants to having children, and he genuinely cares about those kids, and he knows he couldn't do the same thing if he was a bad guy.
Well, and that is very true because, and also true about the kids. If he had his own kids to deal with every day, he probably wouldn't be out there granting 5 to 10 wishes a week.
But he don't want to give up that seed.
Well, yeah.
So Upload Test is just saying that's why they said 5 years. So you think if he left for 5 years and he came back, he could pull it off to Make a Wish. It wouldn't be a big loss there because maybe it would have gone down in numbers.
I almost think it would be Make a Wish would have to make if he's still getting the requests and filling
Well, you know
them
what?
that he's gonna do.
I don't buy that bullshit. Rock has gone heel and come back gone face, and he still brought up a lot of numbers for Make a Wish Foundation. So I don't.
He didn't do over 500 individuals.
Well, now here's the question.
He still did.
That's
before Cena, but before Cena came along, Rock had the most numbers.
Well,
though.
and also, Bob, let's take into account. I'm not sure how much it affects it, but Cena's doing it now in the social media age. Rock was doing it in the snail mail age.
Yeah, you got to take into account of that too.
Well, here's the other thing to factor in, guys. How many wishes when Cena's injured does he fill? Does he fill the same amount as when he's active, or because most of those wishes are to be backstage with him at Raw?
Yeah.
Upload Test might be right. If he was gone for 5 years and all the wishes are, I want to see John Cena wrestle, and he's not wrestling,
right?
Then maybe they stop entertaining those wishes and granting them. Maybe it would give the opportunity.
You know, to your original point, let me just say this real quick. To your original point, who would take over if Cena was gone? I said somebody would have to step up.
As the face.
Right.
We need a face for
SmackDown.
Well, I made this point briefly last night, and it's that right now, you know, what the WWE is relying on that network to take off. But you are not getting the kids in the Fruity Pebbles buying that network. You are getting the marks and the smart marks and the old wrestling fans, the hardcore wrestling fans that are buying that network, that are willing to make that investment into that network. So Cena, where he is great with merchandise, he is great with Make-A-Wish, he's a great ambassador for the brand. You need to have somebody step up that has that raw edge, kind of like Stone Cold did when he was a face, in order for the network to survive. And I think they know that. I think they're starting to actually realize that.
Well, I mean, that's a good angle on it. I don't know if that'll play out. I just did that with a play of words. My answer to my question is Kurt Angle. If you bring in Kurt somehow, throw a pile of money at him if you need to. If Cena is gone, bring in Kurt.
How much time would Kurt? I mean,
he is a medical risk. The reason why they don't bring him in is nothing about politics. It is because Kurt Angle is a medical risk. His neck is fucked.
Fine, Bob.
It's been fucked up for years.
Okay,
though.
here's where you bring him in then. Fuck JBL, get him out of there, stick him on the announce table.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Bring Kurt Angle in
All
some
right,
way.
cool.
Yeah,
you know, he doesn't have to wrestle. He could be a personality. I really hoped during this GM thing, I'd rather have him as the heel to Shane's
Oh, it's
face.
true. It's damn true.
You know, he was a great commissioner when he was in the wheelchair and Luther Reigns was pushing him around. Like, I just want Kurt Angle back in the good graces. I want to see him at a Hall of Fame ceremony. I want him to be back involved somehow. If he can't go, they need something of hype value. The only other answer I have for you, and the most logical one, is Randy. After Randy's done with this Brock, Randy is going to be the face.
I think what we talked about was I think that
if Cena steps out, Randy's the face.
Yeah, here's what happens: is Cena beats Brock when I think it's time. I think it will.
Orton?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Orton beats Brock, and I think it's time for that to happen. And then that propels Orton right to Dean Ambrose.
Right.
And then Dolph Ziggler can go back and do the whole "I got knocked down a peg again," and Bob's sad too, kind of thing.
And maybe he joins the Wyatts.
Maybe.
He can
Shut up.
Just lose in a fun gimmick. Let's go to number 3.
3.
All right, number 3 is roll call. I briefly mentioned this a second ago when we were doing the open, but the reason this is a topic and the reason this is a segment, here's what it is. They trumped out all 6 divas tonight in one setting, and they trumped out all 6 of the tag team division, all in one setting. For what? None of them are going to be on. Yeah, none of them are on SummerSlam. JBL did his best, even though he fucking sucks at the announce table. He did his best to go, well, you know that they're jockeying for a future potential rumor that we might potentially future have a tag division here title on SmackDown. Like, the words he used just, it sounded like
a politician?
Yeah, it sounded like dog shit. And then this Divas division that the worst rumor I read online, and I hope it was wrong, was that they might do a lesbian storyline with Becky and one of the other divas on there.
I'd watch that. I'd watch that.
They're not going to let them do more than first base. Otherwise, I don't care. But so the point being is they marched, and I know that, and this is the only reason I put this on here. 2 weeks after SummerSlam is the next pay-per-view, the SmackDown-only pay-per-view. I feel like they marched all of them out there because none of them are going to do a fucking thing all weekend in a big weekend in Brooklyn. Maybe they do some pre-show bullshit battle royal over the top. I almost think that Baron Corbin and Kalisto.
No, there is a women's match.
There is?
They added a 3-on-3 match.
Ugh.
Yeah, Upload Test just threw that in there, and it says Rosa Mendez. We'll let that one. Rosa's supposed to be coming back. Yeah, who gives a shit?
Why? So that when Eva Marie gets stuck in traffic, Rosa Mendez can take her spot in the match?
No, that is not fair. Do not compare those two. That Eva Marie might not be all that you want her to be, but she is damn better than Eva Mendez. I mean,
Rosa
come on.
Mendez.
Rosa Mendez.
I don't know about that.
We're spending too much time on the divas before making.
So that's
me care.
why you think they all marched out.
We'll get to them. You got your argument coming and make me care. Let's talk specifically though about the tag teams. They brought up a good point. It was, of course, Mauro Ranallo that brought up this point. There is only one of those 6
3.
tag teams.
Oops, sorry.
Hey, welcome back, Brian. There's only one of those 6 teams on SmackDown, and I didn't realize this until this was said, that has had the tag titles. The Usos are the only ones out of the 6. It's not shocking because the rest are all NXT tag teams. Well, Breezango's half NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But Ascension, Vaudevillains, did any of them even hold the NXT tag titles, Hype Brothers? Any of them? Do we know?
You mean Vaudevillains held it?
Vaudevillains held it.
Oh, they
yeah.
did?
Not the Ascension.
American Alpha.
American Alpha.
American Alpha did at the end.
Yeah, Ascension did
not.
No, the Ascension held it.
Or the
they held it.
longest reigning.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
sorry. That's
Okay.
right.
So we got a new viewer, Juan Rodriguez, who chimed in and says WWE has a cancer. It's dying. It's circling the drain. It's dying slow death.
Yeah,
Ooh.
SmackDown Live. If this is the first month test, Medine was joking about this off air last night. He says they're going to pull the plug and go back to normal by Survivor Series. I said they have pay-per-views booked and listed until Rumble, and they would play this out at least till Mania. If they realize that this is a huge mistake like it is, they're going to play it out till at least Mania.
Here's what they need to do. I don't have all the answers, but one thing that they should do, as somebody who covers Raw every week for us, and I only watch Raw, I don't get a chance to watch SmackDown, and frankly, hearing about it doesn't make me want to watch it.
Shit.
The problem is that people who watch Raw, they're not promoting SmackDown. They might do one little cutaway segment during the 3 hours, but they're not promoting SmackDown.
Fuck SmackDown. Shit.
All we know is that Ziggler is fighting Dolph, and
there was a Ziggler Ambrose.
Yeah,
that was
it.
it.
I wouldn't have known.
You said Ziggler fighting Dolph.
Yeah,
there was a Ziggler Ambrose commercial. That's all I saw on Raw.
I didn't know about Cena and AJ till you told me. I didn't know about anything the Divas are going on until you told me.
By the way,
I didn't know about Apollo and Miz till you told me.
Yeah, they got Apollo and Miz got a segment tonight of, hey, by the way, while you were gone in a commercial, this happened. They didn't even show their actual segment.
Yeah, well, SmackDown ratings might be higher upload, but I mean that's because it's fresh and new. But once people
What's he saying?
He's saying that the ratings are still higher than before, and SmackDown is being live streamed illegally on YouTube now, and nobody streamed it before. I don't know if that's a large enough percentage to really make a damn on it. I think it's all about the investors and who wants to buy in based on the ratings they're getting, and people can stream Raw too, I assume. But
it's just like our podcast.
They don't promote it.
Once you get the new audience, and that's what you've got, a new era pop in the ratings, is what you just said to Upload Test. That's what you're saying is the reasoning. If you don't hook them, if you don't sell the drama, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
It's just like any other show. When I watch a premiere episode of a TV show, if it's not a great premiere and has me hooked to give a shit, I'm not watching episode 2.
And I'm not taking away from the streaming thing because he's saying literally nobody did streamed it before. We had a kind of experience of that. Our first episode of SmackDown, we got over 1,000 views, which for us, is kind of unusual. And we figured out our logo is so similar and our name is so close that people were trying to go watch SmackDown on our live stream, which we invite you to come back anytime.
Well, that and like Bob said, we were the better show. That's
okay. You weren't 900
or better cast.
You weren't 850 people
He's
better.
telling the
I
truth,
mean,
though.
What the fuck?
We had the Queen here.
Yes.
Okay.
That right there. You
I would
shut up,
argue
jackass.
That,
Yeah,
we
you
were,
got
but I
Steve
was
doing
on that
fake-
episode, so I know that can't be the case.
Yeah.
Shut up, Bob.
Bob's.
Fuck you. Fuck
All
you,
right, so
Ziggler lover.
let's end the 3 key ingredients. Let's go on to the best and worst.
Oh wait. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I didn't know you were going there just yet.
Come on, Brian.
All right. I literally came in from work and jumped right on the board, started all the streaming services, fixed the problems, loaded the music, and then he's like, "Here's the production sheet, and you got something you got to read." All right,
I
go.
went to broadcast school, not production school.
I don't even have something to drink. I'm fucking parched.
That's why we make a good Tom and Jerry. Yeah,
I do not want that.
Here's a raspberry Rita.
Yeah. First off, it
tasty.
says is anything Bud Light other than the actual Bud Light. Don't put me-
Raspberry. It's making me feel good.
It's like that Clamato shit.
Ew.
They have.
Oh God,
Those
so disgusting.
fucking raspberry things are the worst.
That's what she's fucking
By
drinking.
the way, since that's your first kind of error on the board tonight, I've listened to a couple episodes of Rawsome, and you.
We were doing shots last night.
Well, no, I know you were doing shots last night. I'm talking the
y'all
week
were.
before. I think I counted 10 times where you either intentionally or just fucked it up and then said, "Oh, look, I messed up on the board. I pulled a Brian."
Yeah.
You just kept saying that.
Yeah.
Poor Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Brian.
It's become a Brian.
Yeah, I miss
Blame
you,
it on
buddy.
Brian.
I miss you, buddy. All right, let's go into who was the show winner. I'm going to actually start for show winner. Who won tonight? I wanted to know, and I wanted to cite this. I'm going to go with Heath Slater. Heath Slater, since the brand split, has gotten more airtime than anyone. Maybe the announce table has gotten more, but Heath Slater's all over the place. And his, what can only be described as post-match concussion interview was just phenomenal. Calling Daniel Bryan Mankind, calling Shane, Stephanie, talking about how he killed Brock and how he beat Orton and it was just all his kids and stuff. I know it's terrible, but at this point, he's become my underdog that I root for, that I want to see, that I'm happy he's getting all this airtime. His friggin' T-shirt that I hope is around long enough. Free agent, because he's not even signed anywhere, and they keep one show keeps giving him a contract and taking it away. Another show keeps laughing and like
pitting him into the worst situations.
Putting him
possible.
on a treadmill and putting the food right out of reach, so he's just running in place.
Oh, he was the winner of my Rossimus Award last night.
Okay.
I am totally a fan now. Totally a fan.
Totally.
It's working. It's working.
Well, he works his fucking ass off. He really does.
And he's
He
been
always has.
around a lot longer than people think. He's been around like 8 years now.
Yeah, he jobs so much that you don't realize that he is all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, what do you got? Who's your show winner?
Dolph. I
course.
loved his promo tonight.
If anybody doesn't know this, the way Rob feels about KO, the way I feel about Dean, apparently Bob wants a room with Dolph and some lube.
No, Bob feels the way about Dolph the way I feel about Sasha Banks.
Oh.
Okay.
Bob, are you going to take that?
Not exactly.
Defend your
more
Dolph.
in line with what Adam was saying,
Well, he's got
but, you know.
he's got the big fluffy '80s hair. I mean, I figure you might be, whatever.
Hair envy.
Well, I respect talent.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just say real quick, a really good point here that Upload Test said they didn't mention that Heath Slater won by DQ. I wonder if that will count as a win and get him the contract.
Well, no, that
No,
they
it did.
actually did say that, and that's why they said we've got a contract for you because technically you won by DQ. But he was so concussed, he didn't sign it, and then they took it away from him and walked out of the room.
I'll just step back then. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Bob. What,
Oh, no, do you
defend
notice
your
that
Dolph. What?
He inadvertently named the next pay-per-view.
He said, "Oh, I beat them." He goes, "I took no mercy on Brock and
They're bringing
Randy.
back the name No Mercy.
Yeah,
So-
that was one of our dirt sheets last night. Yeah, they're bringing all the old ones back.
Yeah, so Kira, who's your winner?
I had Randy, hands down, simply because I love the entire Suplex City segment that he did. Was that on Heath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Heath.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So, Randy, you get the W for me.
All right. Rob, you didn't see it. You want to give me a winner, or you just take a guess? You can be like Kira is on the Rawsome show.
I'll go Heath Slater.
All right, good.
All right.
Show loser. Let's start with Bob. Show loser.
Dolph. Because it's
Wait
as
a
much as I love
second.
that
Wait. How can you win and lose?
You're pulling a
if
Kiera
you'll
right
shut
now,
the fuck
Bob.
up, I'm about to answer you. So, great promo. And then, just as I was like, okay, I see where this character is going. I see something new. And then he did the Shawn Michaels super kick. And I was like, God damn it. You had something going just for yourself. And then you had to punctuate it with going back to the character you shouldn't be doing.
Making my fucking point right there. Right there.
Oh, Rob is smiling. You can't see it, but now you made him smile. Way to go. Kira, who's your loser?
This breaks my heart to say
Besides
this.
Bob with that last point.
This really breaks my heart to say this, but my loser tonight is Bray Wyatt. Simply because he didn't do anything tonight. He
was
just
an
sat in the
escort.
chair. He was an escort, and he did nothing, and it just saddens me. Like, where is my dude? What are they doing with him? So
Nobody wants a Ford Escort.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rob, you got a loser?
I'm just going to say any of the divas, it seems like they're just getting jerked the fuck around.
Oh, yeah.
On your show.
Oh,
And it
come
was
on.
nauseating. Naomi's entrance tonight was, I had a
Was
hard...
it wasn't amazing.
No. My eyes
well,
hurt.
you
It was
might
all
like it.
black light crap
It's
and
really
fog.
colorful.
My show loser, and I am going to call him this from now on. If anyone wants to actually go back and watch SmackDown, I wouldn't. I'm gonna my loser of the night. I'm gonna nickname him the Echo, and I'm referring to JBL. Every goddamn thing that somebody else says in a promo on the announce table, he has to echo it with some hype, like Mauro Ranallo goes, a matchup 15 years in the making coming this weekend on SummerSlam. And then JBL goes, 15 years in the making. And I'm like, shut
you know
the
why.
fuck up.
You know why? It's because he's a Fox News contributor. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
Just yell bullshit loud and people will listen.
My
Exactly.
whole push for Kurt Angle to replace JBL is simply because, dude, I will take a wet fart over JBL this far. Just like every time he would normally speak in the broadcast, if they just played a wet fart on the microphone, like, yeah, like nice and wet, I would be like, wow, that's gold compared to JBL. That was top notch.
That's
Better
pretty
than
low.
anything he
That's
said.
pretty bad.
That's my fucking loser. Best promo video package. I'm gonna go with best here is sarcasm, because my best tonight is sarcastically Kurt Hawkins. The reason I said Chuck is he basically came out and did Chuck Norris lines. His whole video package.
Who's
was
this?
You know the Chuck Norris jokes, like Chuck
Yeah, yeah,
Norris'
yeah.
Kurt Hawkins.
tears could cure cancer, but he never cries. Chuck Norris is under his beard is another fist. You know that shit. Kurt Hawkins, the old tag team partner Zack Ryder back in the rated R Superstar days. He was also the stunt double. Well, they had a promo package of him coming back, and the whole thing was it was basically Chuck Norris.
That's stupid.
It was.
Yeah.
Bob, what do you got? Best promo video package.
I really got a kick out of the entrance announcer for Eva Marie tonight.
Stuck in traffic.
Yeah, is unfortunately stuck in traffic.
Yeah, he's probably the only good thing about that bit. Kira, what do you got?
I have Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose, their promo.
Great promo.
I love Dolph's promo. The piece that I did see, I thought Dolph was very intense. I thought he was thorough with what he was, relaying to Dean. I mean, he won it over for me. So
It was a good promo. I just didn't. I thought the comments were good. I didn't like if they were talking to other people. It might have been better.
well, I will say this: Dolph is really good at. He's really good at. I don't want to say persuading,
Struggle.
but he's really
You're struggling to get at what he's good at.
He's better than me at. He's better
Well,
than
he's
me
really
at.
he's really good at I don't want to say manipulating.
If JBL is an echo, Kiera's a parrot.
I don't know. He whines enough. I hate using that word, but he whines enough to the point where you're like, you know what? Maybe this guy has a point.
Just for
I'll
the record,
just say that.
just for the record, both you and Bob have like tooted Ziggler's horn and then thrown him under the bus right after that.
I
And they
know.
wonder
It's a
why
bummer.
creative
It's a
doesn't
bummer.
know
You
what the
have to
fuck
do
to
it.
do with this guy because his biggest like people that are talking him up are also downing him. Oh, poor bastard.
Yeah.
You got a best promo video package. You didn't get to see the show.
I'll just say anybody but Dolph.
Oh wow, you're going
Shots
to Bray Riot.
Shots fired.
That's just petty.
Shots fired.
All right, botch, stumble, miss. Let's start with Kiera.
I had the women's tag team match simply because it wasn't a fucking tag team match. I was pissed at that. It was supposed to be who was it? Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. I think it was I'm sorry, Becky
Carmella.
Lynch. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bob. Fill me in, man.
It was Becky Lynch and Carmella versus Alexis Bliss and
I don't even know what the
Natty.
fuck who was supposed to be tagging, but all I know is when Becky Lynch won at the end against Natalya, Carmella comes in at the very end and helps celebrate with her. What
Yeah.
the fuck? It was all just scrambled. It was stupid.
Adam, can I just say she's not a car. It's Alexa, not Alexis.
Oh yeah, Alexa.
cares?
Alexa.
Who cares?
She does, you fucking bastard.
All right, what was your botch, stumble, miss? Other than me messing her fucking name up. Rob, you got one?
Oh, yeah, the Ascension.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
You're just taking digs at
come on
Brian. Is that
now.
what you're doing?
He's not even here. Wow.
Get well.
Poor
Get well.
Brian. Bob, did you do one?
Yeah. And mine is actually. So they had that, whatever the fuck that women's nonsense was tonight. And then immediately afterwards, they showed a commercial for a thing coming on about the women's evolution. And I'm going to say the women's division as a whole has become a total botch. They had this great opportunity, this great swell of talent that it looked like we were going to have a renaissance of women's wrestling. They even did away with the diva name, and it was they had an opportunity and they completely pissed it away. So the women's division is a total fucking botch.
Yeah, you're never going to convince me anything but I don't even know their names, apparently. I think one is a car. I like Lexus. I wish I had one.
I can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. My botch, stumble, miss, I'm going to go into it a little more in work of the night because it's one and the same. So we'll get there. Shocking match ending. I'm going to lead this one off. My shocking match ending was after Heath Slater won by DQ. Suplex City, not just Suplex City by Randy, but he actually stood up and did the gorilla strut that Brock does where he looks like he's getting ready to, wrestle or whatever the hell he is, and that jumping around thing he did. And he did it perfectly. I mean, he even got his pecs to bounce like Brock's. It was just perfect. Bob, what do you got there? Shocking match ending.
It's Cena going all alpha male on AJ after his match. I expected the FU, but I wasn't expecting it through the announce table.
Yeah, he did. AJ delivered the phenomenal elbow, though. I mean, he started it. if we're in the schoolyard, he started it. He got what was coming to him.
Yeah, but you have to admit, Cena went a little extra on that.
Maybe.
Look, man, it was, you asked what my moment was. I told you. Now you can argue with me.
All right, what do we got over there, Rob?
Upload test for their for uploads botch, stumble, miss was, how about Dolph? I'm going to kick your head off your face to Ambrose.
I missed that part.
All right, well done.
Kiera, you got a shocking match ending for me?
I really didn't have a shocking match ending.
Yeah.
And nothing really stood out to
SmackDown
me.
sucks. They ruined my categories.
I got one.
They don't play in. What do you got?
I got when Hogan went heel on Macho.
Steve, did you forget to take your medicine? This isn't the Macho Man podcast. Macho Man Memorial Podcast with Steve Awesome,
brother.
I'm gonna kick off work of the night. My work of the night was also my botch, stumble, miss kind of thing. I thought it was a botch, stumble, miss at the beginning because Miz kept referring to Apollo as Apollo Creed. And I have done it off air and fucked up at the beginning and stuff, even I think myself, when it's Apollo Crews, not the deceased Rocky, whatever, trainer or rival of Rocky.
Vince did that shit on purpose.
You know he did it on purpose, but Miz playing up to it.
The black guy.
And Miz going, no, I didn't fuck it up. I got it right. I called you Apollo Creed because that's your name, kind of thing. And basically Apollo retaliated, put his finisher on him, and then stood over him and goes, no, it's Apollo Crews kind of thing. And I like that. That was my favorite work of the night, and it happened in a commercial break, and I only got to see a recap of it.
So do you think the fairy tale is wearing off of Apollo finally? He's finally going to get into character? And
I think he's growing into his character, whatever it may be.
He's not just like, oh my God, I'm so happy to be here anymore.
No.
I hope so, because he didn't come out, and I mean, it was cut, it was edited, because it did happen during a commercial break, Rob, but it wasn't all sunshines and lollipops this time. It was like, no, you will fucking respect me, Miz.
And you were convinced, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it conveyed that to me, but it could have been a promo package edited. Maybe that's why they sent him out there, because we can edit this in post.
Sure.
What do you got? Work of the night, Miss Kiera.
I have, and you guys might not agree with this, I know Adam won't. Eva Marie, simply because,
stuck in traffic.
They have made it so obvious that they don't want to have this woman, her wrestling skills showcase at all, but she's playing it so well. And when all the divas came out, after Natalya, she came out and she interrupted the women's tag team match, causing Natalya to lose. Natalya and whoever else was her tag team partner to lose. And Eva Marie, they cut the camera back on her. She's just like, "Oops, I'm sorry." So she interrupts the match, makes her entrance. It's fucking hilarious. And then at the end, she's like, "Did I do that? Did I fuck this up?"
She's Steve Urkel.
It's like, well, not Steve Urkel, but
you just said, "Did I do that?" That
she's
feels
like,
very.
You know what she
my
fucking
mistake.
meant.
But it's just out of sight, out of mind, I guess. So I'm gonna give it to her. She's playing along. She's
I'd
making
give
it work.
it to her. I just wouldn't want to watch her wrestle. What do you got? Oh, and as Bob would say, put a paper bag on her head.
My work of the night goes. It's Bob trying to convince me that Dolph is worth the shit.
You really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start off technical and sloppy back to back. My technical match of the night.
I guess we could skip work of the night for me.
Did you not go? Go ahead, Bob. Work of the night.
Bring it.
Oh, I forgot. Give you a chance to retaliate on Rob.
No, and I'm really just opening this up so Adam can tell me I'm fucking dumb. I enjoyed Naomi's entrance.
Oh my God,
dude,
how did that not hurt your face? It hurt. It made me want to kick my face off my head.
God, you're old.
I didn't get to see it, but he explained it to me. It sounds kind of exciting.
It
I have to
looked
watch
like
it.
if you walked into a rave circa 1997 and you
I'm
had
completely down for that.
and you had your black lights and everything was fun and everything was great, and then you see this one girl whose outfit is popping in the most random ass way. She's got a mouthpiece that's glowing.
Glow-in-the-dark extensions.
She has glow-in-the-dark extensions in the middle of her hair, so when she's flinging it around,
dark? Oh,
dude,
shit!
it looked like psychedelic carnage to me. Like, I actually could not tell that it was Naomi. I knew somebody had a new entrance. I could tell by the shape.
They remixed her music.
Oh.
I gotta look back over that again.
It was so goddamn awesome.
So
it sounds like I would like
Bob,
it. I don't know.
Bob, I got a question for you. Is it the Amazing theme that they remixed?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I might like that.
Dude,
I might like that.
Banger now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hear that back.
All right,
Look at Bob. Look at Bob with the terms.
Too much
club banger.
Too much divas on my show. Bob, technical and sloppy match of the night.
Del Rio and Cena was the technical match because it was the only technical match.
Well, yeah, there isn't much to choose from on SmackDown. Sloppy
yeah, we should
match.
probably drop the technical match one.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, we should probably drop half these segments. They're killing me. I'm gonna have to rename the best worst to the not so bad and not so great. I mean, because everything falls into like the almost shit bin, or should we recycle this? That's what I feel like SmackDown is becoming. The do I decide to recycle this, or do I decide to throw this away?
SmackDown just feels like it's an elongated job interview for people who already work for Vince, but maybe not much longer.
Wow.
It's like probation.
You're on parole. Go to SmackDown.
Go see HR. They got a job for you.
All right.
Cesaro, you're going to be over there real soon.
And what was your sloppy match?
That tag nonsense.
Okay. I actually wrote that on my sheet for my sloppy match tonight. Because I wasn't sure. You guys have now explained it to me, but I wrote whatever the hell that Divas match was.
Yeah.
And I actually thought Rowan and Dean had a pretty decent match. I put that as my technical. I enjoyed it. It fit their styles. I didn't think it was that bad.
Of course, it's Dean.
Well,
on to the next one.
Yeah. All right. What did you have,
You just
Kier?
put Rowan in a good match.
Yeah, that for the first
You're
time
dumb
ever.
as shit.
Ah, fuck you. Turn his mic off.
No, it might not come back on.
Anarchy. Technical and sloppy, Kiera.
For my technical, I had Alberto and Cena. That was the only match that actually was interesting to me. I don't give a fuck if it wasn't really technical. It was the only match that I actually paid attention to tonight. So my sloppy match was the women's tag team fiasco, whatever.
You and
the,
Bob just
whatever
agreeing
the
on
fuck
everything.
that like. What's the Marine Corps term we use?
Clusterfuck?
Clusterfuck
Snafu?
was. Thank you, clusterfuck. That's what that was.
Which branch uses snafu?
The
Yeah.
Coast Guard?
Yeah, what
I
the
don't-
fuck is that?
Fuck it.
Situation normal. All fucked up. It's said from
Yeah, we don't
Full Metal
use that.
Jacket.
No.
Isn't that where it's from, Bob?
Yeah, that's what you're
Okay,
talking
okay.
about.
Well, you know,
That's a false
it's a
term.
it's a Marine movie, but no,
It's
nobody
false.
uses snap.
This movie, yeah.
You know who's a snafu? Fucking Cub Scout.
Tango and
fucking-
Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dolph Ziggler did use that in that movie he did with Stallone back in the late 80s.
Is it my turn?
Yes, go ahead.
My technical match of the night is going to be Benoit and Kurt Angle.
Steve is stroked out into Rob.
My sloppy match of the night is going to be Al Snow versus Dolph Ziggler.
Wow. All right. That was our best worst. Thank you.
Oh, I do have a special award to give, though.
All right, what is it?
Corbin gets the Heidenreich Sexual Assault Award.
Yes.
Yeah.
How so?
With Kalisto, right?
Yeah.
Was he?
That
yeah.
shit was creepy.
Was he pedophiling? Was he pedophiling?
He attacked.
When
ahead,
the
Bob.
camera popped back on him, it looked like he just finished force banging him up against the
It
wall.
really did. It really did. Bob, you brought up a good point.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, that'd be great. But actually, because now that Bob said that, they did not show the waist down thing. It basically just showed him like forcing him
His
up against
face.
the wall.
Yeah. Just Kalisto's face.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable. What do we got?
So Juan Rodriguez
Hello,
says,
Juan.
Hey,
What's up,
Juan.
Juan?
It says, fire Road Dogg, fire all the riders, send Vince to a home. A home, not his home, a home. Upload test, let's see, about Naomi reminded me of the second coming of Victoria's entrance when she would pull her pants off, which I don't remember that, but it sounds fun.
Victoria the Hoe?
Dude, I would hush your mouth. Victoria is amazing.
Oh, no, she was. But she was one of the Godfather's
Is she your
hoes.
Bob's Dolph?
No.
And the upload test says, I like Cena Del Rio, but the live streamer I was watching literally fell asleep on his sofa during the match, so that's not a good sign. So you're going to sit here and tell me, you're going to throw me the shit that people are streaming it, and that's the problem while you're fucking streaming.
Oh, classic.
Okay.
All right, we're moving on. This is, and Kiera, I don't know if you saw it. Bob, I don't know if you saw it. Jump in with me and Rob. This is our CWC report, and we're specifically, there was 4 matches this week on the CWC round 2, but there was only one, Rob, that really mattered.
There was.
And that was Kota Ibushi and Cedric Alexander. Bob, did you see it?
I watched the first. I watched Metallic and Coda.
Oh God, why did you do that
Metallic,
to
you
yourself?
mean Metallic and Tajiri?
Yeah, but yeah, I saw those two. Yeah,
Dude, Ibushi and Cedric Alexander, and Alexander had so much. He showcased so many abilities and had so many close pins. They told a story.
They told a great story.
And what's amazing, and Rob, I'll credit you with this because you said it off air, but these guys have no storylines. They have nothing they're working with. We're explaining basically Cedric Alexander came from Charlotte and he did this, and
Okay, it's a
Kota
Charlotte guy,
Ibushi
okay.
and did all this and came from here. So all we're telling is like American Ninja Warrior backstories on these guys.
Right.
And they are telling their own story in the match. They don't need any creative to write it. They're doing it in the ring. There doesn't need to be any hype, no rivalry. They're doing it in the ring.
What worries me is that when these guys finally premiere on Raw, is that not necessarily that they're going to throw storylines in there and ruin it, but that the main roster fans are going to accept it the way that these indie fans have. because they're at Full Sail. They're getting the indie crowds. They're getting the guys who like the Japanese
Mm-hmm.
style wrestling, who like the technical. Because, hey, they're cruiserweights, but they're not all high flyers. They're just fucking dynamic.
Some of them are just reversal
Wait a minute.
machines.
You said your worry is that the main roster crowd
Won't accept
will
it.
take. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they won't accept it without the.
Well, that's what I was stressing last week.
without the pomp and circumstance
Yeah.
and the storylines, and then that'll
main
just ruin
roster-
it.
That's what I was saying last
and
week.
there's several NXT examples to prove your worry.
Right. I mean, think about Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze was a great talent in NXT, and his character was just that. It was an at the time character, but his storyline didn't reflect his character. I mean, his storylines were about fighting. He gets to the main roster. He gets Fandango. Next thing you know, he's a gimmick that comes out with his over the top on his character, and it's not about fighting anymore. It's about him looking pretty. So the main roster has a way of taking a good concept, good character, and turning it into a joke.
Yes,
and
I
I'm
agree.
afraid of that. I'm
Well,
really
yeah.
afraid of that.
Is it also just
big fear.
to say when TNA was just based in Orlando and now we have NXT based in Full Sail, is that a crutch? Because most people aren't exposed to them, and so the fans that are watching it there are the ones cheering and know everything, and then they go out from under their crutch and they try to walk where nobody knows them, and it's maybe an indictment, and I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but if the Fruity Pebbles watched NXT and knew where these guys came from, they would be as excited. Like the ones who are doubting Finn Balor right now because he's just come up are insane to doubt him.
No.
But if they saw what he did down there,
I don't think it's a problem. Here's the deal. So the same
because I said this last night about Carnage. The reason he came out in Carnage last night is because he's on the posters of Carnage, and most Fruity Pebbles don't know who that is on the poster.
that wasn't going to sell more tickets. That was such a bad idea. But look here about the CWC. And
I think they should not have had Finn Balor come out.
No, not at all.
Last night.
Not at all. But I'll say this to my point is that, or to your point about the TNA being in Orlando, I don't think that has anything to do with it. Because if you go anywhere in this country where NXT may travel, it sells out. And that's because you have a segment of fans. And
it sells out a smaller arena.
Well, that's fine, but they're more devoted fans. The people, if you go to a WWE house show, those are more devoted fans. The crowds are better. The problem with Raw and SmackDown is, hey, honey, they got the professional wrestling's coming into town this week. You want to go see a show? Take the kids? Okay, fine. I'm not saying there's not diehard fans in the stadiums. Obviously there are, but there is still that segment of people who just want to go see a wrestling match. They don't really care about the ins and outs and what's going on.
Those are the wives that like Roman.
Right, and those are the ones that you have to entertain
Yeah.
by saying these guys are going to do more than wrestling. They're also going to do soap opera bits, and they're going to do comedy segments.
Yeah, but wrestling is a male soap opera. It's not a woman's soap opera.
I understand that. I'm just saying that right now the new fans, just like when
what
Attitude.
the fuck is that supposed to mean?
When Attitude came in,
We have 6 male hosts and 1 female. I'm counting Bob as one of the 6, but it's a sausage party.
it's a transitioning
No,
male
I'm
soap
stuck on.
opera.
I'm stuck on. He said wrestling is a male soap opera.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It may be transitioning now, hon. I mean, look, some guys watch women's soap operas. Some women watch men's soap operas. But for the most part...
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm looking too deep into it. I get what you're saying.
Oh, you motherfuckers and your overthinking asses. I tell you. But my fear is that... So Cedric, who was my odds-on favorite to win the whole tournament, the match that he had with... was Ibushi?
Yeah, Kota Ibushi.
I mean, just... Not only was it a fantastic match, but I'm afraid that these two guys, which I hope they keep both of them, but these two guys...
Cedric's already signed.
Well, and that's probably an obvious one.
And Grand Metalik is the other one.
I don't know if Ibushi will want to go back to Japan or if he'll want to get his chops wet in the States with WWE.
Well, maybe he's as worried as you are.
What,
I
Bob?
want to say they had a thing on NXT where they talked about signing Kota Ibushi.
They might have
before this whole tournament.
Yeah, they might have. I've been trying to avoid any spoilers, so I've not looked into this because I don't want any spoilers. I'm really enjoying the tournament. I don't want to know who's going to win.
Yeah, I just hope my point again is that I just hope the main roster doesn't ruin it because you know what they did with when they had Mexican
what
wrestlers.
Was your point?
What?
My point again.
I know. When they had the Mexican wrestlers, they used to dim the lights down like it was a traditional Mexican lucha match.
Just put the spotlights on the ring.
And that went over like a fart in church. And that went over like shit.
Well, the reason that was so fucking terrible is they kept running out of the ring. And so the only part that was lit was in between the ropes.
Yeah.
And everything else was blue or dark or whatever. And they had spots outside the ring where nobody could see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, look, going back to the match, I'll say this at the end. You have to bring up the fact that Triple H came out from backstage to congratulate Cedric Alexander on a great match, not the win, right?
Yes.
And you have to
First time of the tournament.
You got to say something about Hunter. And I don't know what his pool is when it comes to the main roster storyline and what's happening up there at talent relations or whatever.
I almost don't think he has any.
I don't think so either.
None.
Because I look at Hunter and everything I see him hands-on doing, I go, this is fan-fucking-tastic. And for him to come out and show Cedric that love that he did not have to do, to show Cedric that love, man, this kid could be just this division could be so wonderful, and I'm so afraid that Vince is going to screw it all the fuck up.
Rob, Bob, and Kiera, I'll address the whole group with this. Would you be happier if instead of the cruiserweights going to Raw, to Raw, marked ourselves, to go to Raw, would you rather if they just stayed an hour show once a week like NXT?
Yeah, I would. I would absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I've said for a while that Go ahead, Bob.
I know Joker and some of the other
got it
fans
right by having the Luchador Fun Hour was the first hour. So it was basically your own show.
Are you talking about, was that Nitro did that for a while?
Yeah.
And I mean,
the first hour was always luchadors and little guys.
And TNA kind of did that with the X Division. They would always they'd cut a promo for what was coming later, but they would always start off with that.
Here's what I've been saying I think they should do for a while, and I'll throw the women in there. I know you don't like that, but I'll throw the women in there. I know. But I've been saying for a while, they have the network. Why not take advantage of it? If you're going to do SmackDown on Tuesdays, and you got 2 hours, you know they do pre-matches for main event or whatever, turn that first hour into a Divas-only show. That doesn't mean take them off the main roster, but put them on there in a Divas-only show that they tape before, like SmackDown, right? So they can do that. Then the Cruiserweights can do the same thing. They could be the 1 hour start to Raw or whatever the case may be. But, I cannot reiterate enough times that I am just afraid that what I'm really enjoying right now that Hunter is bringing us is going to be demolished. Upload Test says, of the NXT thing not transitioning, but I think Ascension was meant to be a joke from the start with JBL teasing them over saying the road better than the Road Wars. Okay, I get that. NXT fans are also younger, energetic college kids. No, they're not. I'm sorry, Upload Test.
They're like loyal families coming out.
No, they're like us, late 20s to late 30s.
Yeah, from 28 to 40 to above. Every NXT show I've gone to has been.
It's like actually it's like the opposite of like the college life.
Monday Night Nitro, that was young college kids. That was young college kids in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That are all now the older crowd that
Right.
would be in the age range we're talking about. My thing is on this is that if they do, you talked about this a minute ago, Rob, about how Raw has not promoted SmackDown.
Right.
They promoted the fuck out of it before the draft.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Since the brand split, they've been acting like they are
Yeah,
at
like, what
war
the
and they're separate entities. Almost even, by the way, USA Network, because I'll watch Modern Family and bullshit sometimes. It's on syndication there. Even they have not put them in the same breath. Like had a Raw and SmackDown commercial. See Raw Monday, SmackDown Tuesday.
Well, have they just forgotten about SmackDown, or just forgot to add them in?
I don't know. They've just
How have they forgotten? It's only been 3 weeks.
No, but they've had completely separate ads when they've shown.
But Bob, you know as well as I do. As somebody, you've been in radio. Adam's been in radio. I've been in radio. You know as well as I do that you need to promote anything that's new.
And if they do a cruiserweight thing and they don't have their, the 5-minute segment on somewhere in the 3-hour broadcast, or like you said with the Divas, they don't have a Diva like recap.
Right.
They're not doing it. I remember Raw. I know it's only 3 weeks, Bob, in your defense, but don't you remember leading up to this draft, Raw had a segment every single week that said last week on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right. But I will say there's no way. Maybe we're not watching the right shows on the USA Network to see the commercials, but the entire reason that they moved it from Fridays to live on Tuesdays was because the USA Network was pissed about the low ratings for SmackDown.
Right.
So
Right, and
There
plus
is
it was already
funding being
live
put
on
into it.
Tuesday.
And now that they're together on the same network, what the fuck? Why is there not that much promotion for
what I'm saying, Bob, is
SmackDown?
they're not showing.
I agree.
Like, okay, if you watch, let's say, Modern Family or NCIS in syndication on USA Network, the first commercial break, you will see a commercial for Raw, and a later commercial break in the show, you will see a commercial for SmackDown. I have not seen, and I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I have not seen one that said Raw Monday night, SmackDown Tuesday, WWE, catch them to start off your week. Every week there has been nothing that USA Network has done to bridge the gap, and since the brand split, they're not even promoting with a previously on Raw, previously on SmackDown segments. So they have taken their entity and they have literally cut themselves off.
Right.
Like even us, we talk about each other.
You know what I was thinking? Could it be that the writers are separated right now?
Well, there obviously is probably two
But
writing
that still
teams,
doesn't
but,
have
yeah.
anything to do with
Look,
promotions.
Some of the best advice I got, the morning show I used to work on the radio, those guys were nationally syndicated or regionally, nationally, whatever. But they ended a contract with one station, and then they had a non-compete for a year. And I asked him, I said, why would you do this? Why would you take the non-compete and not take the deals? You got to sit back on for a year. You can't do anything. He said, no, bullshit. The best time to promote is right now. Their station promoted the shit out of them for a year, that they were coming for a year. And then he said, after that, you promote even fucking harder. And where SmackDown did it right was they started promoting heavy. And not as heavy as they should have, but they promoted heavy. And then once they started, they went, okay, we're good. We don't need to push it anymore. We don't need to preview it on our show. We can play this whole we're different brands. We don't talk about each other angle. And it's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Right now, we as a podcast have grown exponentially over our months, over our 6 months. We're now to the point where we're trying to, we're beta testing it, but we're even coming out with an app just for our podcast where you can kind of stream and do some other stuff. We haven't really gotten everything going, but we know that we have to evolve beyond what we're doing. Just like that, you have to continue to promote and continue to grow. And the fact that they've acted like separate entities from all these perspectives really, really worries me that if they did do a cruiserweight show, they wouldn't promote it on anything but the network.
Yeah, we strayed from CWC, obviously for a good conversation. But I'll just say this, kind of my final thoughts for the CWC is the Tajiri match was kind of predictable. You knew he was going to put somebody over in the second round.
We knew he would advance one round and then lose.
We should apologize to Brian if he listens. Me and Adam were wrong. We were talking about Ibushi. We weren't talking about Ho Ho Lun. It was an error. We didn't mean to say.
No.
No, remember last week because we kept praising Ho Ho Lun and he was getting pissed.
No, Bob and I were also praising Ho Ho Lun.
Okay.
I knew who Ho Ho Lun was.
That little skinny dude. He did nothing.
Yeah,
he did nothing. He was
he was like a $105 wet.
Yeah, and he did nothing to impress me at all. So whatever. So but
maybe I just like ho-hos.
All I say
there's some flashback to that little chocolate cream-filled treat.
Yeah, for professional wrestling, Mark, the CWC is the best thing that they have going right now.
Right. And the thing is what I'm worried is that we're not going to continue to see it promoted properly. The network is promoting itself properly, and we can't get away from everybody from Paul Heyman to Dean Ambrose throwing it in their promos. And some of them have been clever, some of them have been fine, but it just shocks me that they're doing this other thing. As far as I'm concerned, our next segment, we can fly through as quickly. I don't think enough has happened week to week that you guys got any extra bullets in the cannon. But, Kira, you said that you have something to go for. So, we apparently...
Oh, Jesus Christ, are we going to try and make you watch women wrestling?
Well, we apparently have a 6-women match, or whatever, fucking 6 diva tag match coming up at SummerSlam. I don't give a shit about that. I don't even care who the 6 members are. Kara, take a shot. Make me care.
I just, my main thing about the women's division is that, I'm going to say it again, I solely blame creative for this because, and Rob made a good point of this just briefly ago about how creative or how Vince, anybody that's been showcased in NXT, when they come onto the main roster, they're squashed immediately. And that's what I see with the women's division, especially particularly on SmackDown. Okay, there's 6 divas that's on the SmackDown roster. Becky Lynch, Natalya, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Eva Marie, Naomi. She started out, NXT or FCW years back. But just for recent, all these ladies have just come from NXT. the 5 women. Am I missing anybody, Bob?
There's 6
No.
women. There's 6
There's
women
6?
on the roster. There's
Okay. So
Eva
I've named all
Marie,
of them.
Natty, Becky.
What's the problem? You need more. You need more women on your roster than a faction.
Like, okay.
Well, no, you guys get Nia Jax, who comes out each week and squashes a jobber, and that's her storyline and angle that she's doing. We get Eva Marie, who has wardrobe malfunctions and gets stuck in
that's
traffic.
the thing. That's the thing. And
Yeah,
this is what I
he
was
doesn't know
stressing.
what the fucking Uber is.
This is what I was stressing last week. Eva Marie, believe it or not, or accept it or take it for whatever it is, Eva Marie was actually, she was being showcased in NXT before she got drafted to main roster on SmackDown. I mean, she became
they
a heel.
attempted to showcase her, but she got booed out of the fucking building every
Oh.
time she walked into the ring.
But then it eventually turned over to like a heel
This
boo.
whole thing is them playing to those boos.
Eventually, like in
Yeah.
NXT, Eva Marie's boos turned into a heel boo. And then they put her with Nia Jax, and they actually did a little tag team duo with each other. And it was hitting off pretty well. Alexa Bliss, she was with Blake and Murphy, and she dominated with them. Actually, Alexa Bliss was the leader.
Okay,
If
but
it wasn't for her-
everything you guys keep making in your argument is what they did in NXT. What are they?
What
I
I'm
didn't.
saying
I'm
is,
not trying.
my
I'm not
point-
trying to get you to watch it. I
Yeah.
agree. I'm gonna go like get nachos or some shit during that.
No.
Yeah,
My point
how,
is,
how can you like I said, and I'm going to go back to this and keep going back to this that Rob said. Rob said Asuka's great. Watch her. I've only seen 2 matches from Asuka, and I'm like, wow, okay, Rob has something good. Then Rob says something else about let's take Alexa Bliss. I'm not saying he's wrong, but he has no ammo to fire back like he did with Asuka. I got to see 2 good matches. It was unquestionable. I couldn't argue with him. I had to say he was right. Alexa Bliss, jury's still out. Like, I'm not saying that I've won.
have you watched her?
Well, no, because they've given me nothing, and I didn't see what she did.
You watched Asuka in NXT.
I just said that.
Did you watch
And Alexa
Asuka
Bliss.
versus Nia
this
Jax?
is-
Yes, I did, and I said the other one I
That
saw
was a
was
fucking
Bailey.
phenomenal match.
And the other one I saw was her
the
taking
thing
the
that you
title
have
from
to,
Bailey.
the thing that you have to go off of, Adam, you can't research these women, or you can't research these girls from the main roster. You have to go back. You have to.
Here's the
because
problem.
No, but
Here's the
Kira,
problem.
the
why?
problem is-
Why can't they show me them?
This is
Why
the
can't
point.
they showcase them
Listen,
here?
this is the point that Rob just made a few minutes ago. Once these people are drafted onto the main roster, they're squashed, and that's mostly Vince's fault.
There's only 6 of
It's
them
the-
in the women's division. It's impossible to squash 6 people.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody has
'Cause-
to get over. One of the 6 has to get
y'all
over.
are using the wrong term.
Okay.
What's that
what,
about?
what are we using wrong?
Okay. So the very first takeover had Charlotte versus Natty, and I'm telling you, that was a match of the year contender.
They
Not
probably didn't have
women's
to cut
match.
a promo. That's why.
Wrestling, no, wrestling match. Those 2 women stole the card that night. Then you get, and because Triple H in NXT, he's cultivating these wrestlers.
Well, and
He's
Stephanie
giving
has a
them
lot to do
opportunity
with
to
the
shine,
women.
and he's giving them 15, 20-minute matches. When you get up to Raw, Vince is like, throw 4 titties in the ring and give them 5 minutes.
I want to see some goddamn titties.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm trying to get Adam to understand, because Adam hasn't watched that much
No,
NXT,
I'm-
and he doesn't. These girls cut
Look,
plenty of promos.
Raw is doing a good job right now.
No, they're not.
They're not?
I'm on your side.
Nope.
Look, Kira, I want to agree with you. I've been hoping with this segment with Adam that he'll eventually care, because the women will prove it to him. We won't have to do it. They'll answer it to him. But if you look at what has happened since the brand split, and you've got Raw where we've got Nia Jax crushing these jobbers. Okay, that's fun. You've got Charlotte and you got you got Charlotte and you've got Sasha. That's amazing, because we've been waiting for what we wanted. It's tasty. We haven't seen Paige. We saw Alicia
Well,
Fox.
Paige is injured.
Well, okay, we saw Alicia Fox last week, but besides the main storyline, there's nothing going on with the diva or the women on Raw except for those 2 storylines, Nia Jax and the belt. On your side, they got this roster of 6 women, which again I think a roster needs to be bigger than a faction than the fucking Nation of Domination. You know, I think they were actually bigger. You need a bigger roster, but you need to devote more time to these girls to develop their characters, so they can tell a story in the ring with a match longer than 5 minutes, where they just shake their ass and act like I'm a little ditzy, you know, whatever. So to make you care, Adam, I can't. I have been trying and trying, but WWE.
I'm not trying anymore.
Yeah, there's just nothing. You're winning this one because the women. I mean, look,
Creative is allowing me to win.
and I'm one of the biggest women
what I'm
wrestling
saying.
fans. I am.
That's what I'm saying.
Creative is
allowing
handing
you.
me the victory.
There's nothing since this brand split that's going to prove that's going to make you care about this, because since this brand split, Creative has like done shit to show you that these girls matter.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying their promos are so Barbie-esque, and you're not going to beat me. I'm going to beat you.
I'm waiting
feel
for
sorry
one of them
for-
to revive that
I feel
Aqua
sorry
song as
for-
their theme.
I
Barbie
feel
girl,
I
yeah.
feel sorry for these women because
I do too.
it's like they've been dumbed down ever since the brand split. Ever since they've been drafted onto the main roster.
Yeah.
I looked
Nothing.
up, when I was looking up this week or today in wrestling history, there were 3 in the past women that were crowned Diva Search winners that went on to become wrestlers on Today in History. 3. Ashley Mazzaro, Layla was one of them. I can't remember. I didn't give a fuck when I was reading it.
Ashley Mazzaro, who got fired because they found out she was a hooker.
Right. So basically, basically my point being is like this day in wrestling history is shitty for the divas just in general.
Yeah. Upload test says the best diva promo is the Eva Marie announcer guy.
He actually is. He actually is.
Yeah.
Good job, Upload Test. We agree once again. I think it's time to play some trivia. Fuck
Let's
the
do it.
divas.
Yeah, trivia.
For a little mocked out trivia.
Let's flip a paper over.
Yeah. You guys, if you want to use whiteboards, I'm going to call on Bob since he's at home. I'm going to call on him first
Okay.
each time.
You gotta
All right.
hand me one.
I'm coming.
Oh, you gave me the one with shit on it. All right.
All right. Yeah, well, you fucking figure out how to race. So, Brian, I knew you weren't going to be here. He actually knew he had to go out of town and deal with some of his health issues. And I still didn't prepare till the very last minute. So some of these questions are going to be...
you were just you.
Yeah, so I basically just Googled some fucking shit, and this is what I came out and thought was worthy of repeating.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're going to love this. So question number 1. Who did Jim the Anvil Neihart team up with to form the new foundation? Who did Jim the Anvil Neihart team up with to form the new foundation?
I replaced my timer. Damn it.
You replaced your timer.
I did. I replaced
Was it Owen?
Oh, don't say it out loud.
Goddamn.
You got to give them time to write it down,
Wow.
Bob, before I go to you. All right,
Shit.
Bob's guess is Owen if you want to agree Hollywood Square style or disagree with Bob.
I was going to go Owen anyway.
Okay,
Yeah,
what
me
do you
too.
got?
I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna get that wrong.
All right, it is Owen Hart.
Cool.
The Anvil teamed up with his real-life brother-in-law, forming the new foundation. Following the split of the Hart Foundation, after, of course, Brett left. So, Bob, wait for me to go to you with this answer, because then I'll know that Kiera and Rob have written it down. Who was the first person to pin Mr. Perfect in the WWE? Well, then WWF.
Oh, fuck. I watched it.
Who was the first person to pin Mr. Perfect in the WWE? Making him no longer perfect, if you will. All right, a couple more seconds.
All right.
All right, Kara.
I'm
you
ready.
All right, Bob, what do you got? You guys can show
Macho
me.
Man?
Oh, no. British Bulldog for Kira is also a no.
All right, hold on.
Oh, no, Rob. It was
Ultimate Warrior.
Hulk Hogan.
I was
I
gonna
thought
say Rick.
that. God.
Rick was my first.
I
answer.
talked myself out of it. I
he-
swear I did.
He lost at WrestleMania 6 to Brutus the Barber Beefcake, but
Yeah.
that was not his first loss as Mr. Perfect. His first loss actually came at a house show in Austin, Texas, December 1st, 1989, when Hogan pinned him.
That's tricky. That's a tricky one.
Yep,
That's
it was
a tricky one.
All right, this one is we're missing our geriatric friend Stevie here, Stone Age Steve Awesome. Who did Randy Savage face off against at WrestleMania 10, and what kind of match was it?
Ooh.
Who did Randy Savage face off against at WrestleMania 10, and what kind of match was it?
This is so vague. I mean, it's not vague, but
It
it kills my memory.
This is one I actually threw in there because this was one of those, like, did you know, completely forgettable
I'm just
facts.
I'm just trying to remember if he was a heel or a face then.
It's WrestleMania 10 even, and this was a match of apparently some worth that I forgot about. And probably when I watched it back on DVD, fast forwarded through. Any guesses? Last chance, Kiera. I'm going to go to Bob. Bob, what do you got
Dude,
for him?
I got nothing.
Mine's
You got
wrong.
nothing for either guess what the match type was or the opponent?
I got nothing.
All right, Kiera, what do you got?
This is for a different WrestleMania, but I got a Hulk Hogan Iron Man match.
Hulk Hogan and Iron Man is wrong.
Yeah, it's definitely not that.
What do you got, Mr. Rob?
This
This is a hard one. This is
I am
fucking like forgettable.
totally blown right now. I got to
I
go.
want to know.
I don't know. Tito Santana in a burrito match.
Okay, you were actually close by saying Tito Santana. And I just can't believe that this was a WrestleMania match. Randy Savage.
Wait. Okay, wait, hold on. Was it Rick Martel?
No.
No.
Randy Savage defeated Crush at WrestleMania 10 in a Falls Count Anywhere match. He won the match by tying Crush upside down backstage, and Crush was unable to answer the referee's count of 10, so Savage won.
All right. Upload test
Dumbest
got
goddamn thing I've ever heard of.
Upload test got Owen, Hogan, and that was it. The other two we got wrong. Okay.
Next up, at which WrestleMania did Hulk Hogan wrestle twice? At which WrestleMania? All I need is the number. Which WrestleMania did Hulk Hogan wrestle twice?
I know. Fuck. I
And
know.
Upload
the
Test
second
is
match
beating you
was.
guys if he got 2. You all got Owen, and that was the only one you guys got as a group. All right, Bob, give me a number. Bob?
Fuck. Was it 17?
Nope.
Sorry.
Rob, what do you got?
I got 5.
5. Kara, is that
111?
111?
3.
Roman numerals? You want Roman numerals?
Yeah.
Roman numerals make them look like capital
All right,
I.
so 2 or number 1 was that was the big Roddy Piper tag match.
Yeah, with
right?
Paul Orndorff.
Right. That was 1, and number 2 was
Number 3 was Andre, by the way.
number 3 was Andre. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he had 2 matches that night. I
So,
thought he had
okay, what was it?
It was WrestleMania 9.
9.
Was it 9?
WrestleMania 9.
What were the matches,
Damn
you
it, I
know?
thought that, and I talked myself out of it. The second match was Yoko, right?
Yes. That was the one after Yokozuna beat Brett, and everybody thought that he would lose.
Yeah, that was the fuck over Brett match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. The Nexus.
Upload test got 9.
Okay. Good job, Upload.
Oh, awesome.
This one might be a tough one. Might be an easy one. The Nexus interfered in the main event of the pay-per-view entitled Fatal 4-Way. Who did they enable to escape with the WWE Championship? And if you want a little bit of hint, John Cena entered as champion, and Nexus was feuding with John Cena at the time, so he was the one who got screwed over. But who did they help win the title when they screwed over
Orton?
Cena?
Hold on.
Damn,
Hold
Bob.
on, Bob.
What the fuck, Bob?
I'm sorry. dude.
Remember this whole we gotta you don't have a
I
fucking
know.
buzzer, you jackass.
I know.
All right, so let's
My guess is
go.
Orton.
Let's go. Bob says Orton, and Orton is incorrect. Kara, what do you got?
I got Punk. I didn't write it down.
Rob,
I got the Brooklyn Brawler.
wrong.
Wow.
So close. Really close.
So the correct answer
Dolph Ziggler.
was Sheamus.
Really?
John
Yes,
Cena
it
entered
was.
as champion. Nexus decided to crash the party. They attacked crew backstage and made their way to the ring, where they proceeded to decimate the participants. Sheamus stayed out of the way, and once they were done with Cena, Sheamus pinned him and escaped.
I wasn't watching then.
Yeah,
Yeah, you weren't.
Neexus was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Who was the
Yeah, it
oldest World Wrestling Entertainment World Heavyweight Champion?
The oldest?
Who was the oldest person to ever wear the strap? Who was the oldest?
WWE?
Yeah, Bob, just go
Yeah,
with it. World
just-
champion.
Yeah.
Well, no.
It's,
Because
it's
you know how
who's-
they separate the titles now.
Yeah, but Adam's
one?
not that smart to do that. He just went oldest.
This
Is this
I'm pretty
WWE
sure.
or
This
World?
I'm pretty sure is WWF, WWE. It's the whole history of WWF and WWE.
Okay, I know this one.
Okay. Let's go to Kiera first because she's the last ready. Kiera, what do you got?
I got Rick.
Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Bob, what do you got?
Bob Backlund.
Rob, what do you
You're
got?
out of your fucking mind.
I got Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon,
Oh,
at 54 years, 21 days of age, is the oldest World Wrestling
All right.
Heavyweight
Juan
champion.
and Upload Test got that one right.
All right, so
He
finally.
was older than Bob Backlund.
So Upload Test
Yes, Bob.
and Juan, you guys can feel free to just type in all 8 of these answers as quickly as you want, but I'm going to go around the room one by one and let you guys guess. Rob, I'll give you the thumbs up and thumbs down when they're good guesses.
Okay.
We're going to start with Kiera. Name the 8 original members of Nexus. I will accept aliases.
All right.
I got it.
All right, so Kiera,
I have almost all of these.
All right, well, fucking wait
Can I
your
write 'em
turn
down,
this
or do I have
time,
to-
goddamn
do I
it,
have to
Bob.
list 'em, or can I write 'em
just
down?
just give me a name.
Heath Slater.
That is 1. Rob, what do you got?
Wade Barrett.
That is 2. What do you got, Bob?
Ryback.
AKA Skip Sheffield, as he was known back then. Let's go back to Kiera. What do you got?
Titus O'Neil, but I think he went by a different name at the time.
It wasn't him.
Titus was not an original member.
Darren Young.
Darren Young was, and he was one of the first guys kicked out when he lost to that actually got kicked out, not fired. Let's go back to Bob.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan. Back to Kiera.
Oh, what's
3
his
to
name?
go. There's 3 left.
Fuck. I can't remember his name. High flying dude, black hair.
That's not an answer.
All
right.
My mind's drawing a blank right
Rob,
now.
you want to name me that guy or think of somebody else?
Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel, just like Titus O'Neil, a later incarnation. We're looking for originals. Bob, what do you got?
Wyatt, Bray Wyatt.
No.
That was also
Yeah,
part
no,
of
he
the
was.
Nexus.
I think Juan has it.
What does Juan got?
Juan's got Otunga.
Otunga is a correct guess. Good job, Juan. 2 to go. 2 to go. Let's go back to Kiera. See if she
Shit.
can think of the name of the guy she described. Because that is correct if you can get his name.
I can't fucking remember. And they let him. He came back for a while last year, and they let him go. Fuck. I cannot like.
You get it.
It's not gonna come to me.
Rob, your final guess here.
He came back last year.
You don't know
No,
him.
he didn't.
You probably don't know him.
He didn't come back.
It was
Okay.
like 2 years ago.
He
So-
didn't come
Briefly. Briefly.
In Lucha Underground, he goes by the name Darewolf, which is the gimmick he tried
I know.
to do
I know
at
his
the
name in
very
Lucha.
end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Coco Beware.
No. All right. Bob, you got the final 2. Go for it.
Well, the guy that she's trying to name, I can't remember what he went by
Oh.
in WWE, but in
I can't
Lucha
remember.
Underground, they call him the Darewolf.
Yes, I can't remember his name. WWE.
His name is Justin Gabriel.
Justin
Oh,
fucking Gabriel.
And then
Yes.
the other guy is the boxer's son.
The other
that
guy
did
looked
not
like
fucking last.
the other guy did not last. He looked like he was a relative. He was like the black version of Sub-Zero or Scorpion.
And I don't even think
Yeah,
a lot
or
of
the
He
people.
was
little-
actually the son of a famous boxer.
His name was Michael Tarver.
I never would have
Yeah,
gotten
Daniel-
that.
yeah.
Never would have.
He would have been the one. Now, funny thing, Daniel Bryan, Darren Young, Heath Slater, and David Otunga are all still there, and Barrett and Ryback just got released. So 6 of the 8 have been there from 2009 until this past year when 2 of those got cut.
And to be fair, Ryback and Wade asked for their release. They weren't outright fired.
So they kept those guys around. My final trivia question of the night, there are 3 former Nexus members that have held the heavyweight championship belt. Can you name those 3? Write them down. We'll give you a couple seconds if you got some music.
3 former Nexus?
3 former Nexus members that were also former heavyweight champs. Only 3 former Nexus members have won the title. That counts for New Nexus. That counts for Nexus.
Yeah, I know.
That does not count for Core or any of the other.
Then I'm completely. Are we not talking about the people we just talked about?
We are, but
Okay.
what 3 members are
They were
former?
different, yeah.
What 3 members?
Different incarnations of it.
Yeah, what we just named was the original 8.
Okay. So there was more of that because, I said, I wasn't watching.
Well, no, several of the people that you named were correct answers of part of the faction, but they weren't the original 8.
Okay.
All right, Kiera, let's go to you first. Can you name any of the?
Shit, I've only got 2.
All right, give them to me.
I got Daniel Bryan and Punk.
Both are correct. Daniel Bryan and Punk. Bob, what do you got?
Those are the only 2 that I have.
All right, Bob gets 2. Rob, what do you got?
I had Daniel Bryan.
Uh-huh.
Then I had Oink and Doink.
I really thought he had it.
Was it Dink and Dank?
Dink and Doink. Yeah, Dink and Doink. Sorry.
Daniel Bryan and CM Punk were correct. The other one, very, very briefly, he was forced to be a member after losing to Wade Barrett. John Cena was a member of Nexus.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck him.
Well,
So that is the end of our trivia.
Juan got Punk and Bryan, and Upload Test got Bryan. You had some sneaky ones in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a couple little throw things in there. I don't know. I'm an asshole. I got to do something with trivia. Speaking of assholes.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Well, part of my rant.
That's it. Now it's my turn.
I can cut Jim Carrey off. Part of my rant tonight up on the soapbox is going to be about the fact that SmackDown is just flat out losing. Nothing is more evident than the card going into SummerSlam. I really feel like, and part of why for our predictions here, we threw in the title matches of TakeOver into our prediction weekend here, is because there is just such a big decline on what we've seen from Raw and SmackDown. I'm going to go through a couple examples real quick, and then I'll let you guys kind of chime in. Take the U.S. title. The U.S. title for the past few weeks on Raw, I'm sure you've seen this, Kiera. Rusev and Roman have been getting some quality airtime. They've been getting even main event kind of matches. Roman didn't, when he held the heavyweight title, he wasn't in the main event on Raw. But now that suddenly he's in a mid-card, him and Rusev have been getting a push, maybe because they have no belt there and that, until the Universal comes along. But they have been getting a major push on that show. The equivalent of it on SmackDown is the IC title. Miz and Apollo almost had a shot at the number one contender for Dean. And then the following week, he secures the number one contendership for the IC. The following week after that, he's not even on TV. And tonight, they did a recap segment while they were at commercial for him. So that's number one. There are 2 tag matches on the card. There's one. Because the other one is from SmackDown. That are from Raw. We've got the newly named Jericho, and we have Enzo and Cass. And actually, no, we do have 2 matches. And then we have the tag title match. Gallows and Anderson versus New Day. We have no tag team match from SmackDown represented on SummerSlam. Further evidence, as we'll go further, we have a Sasha and Charlotte. There is a shitty 6 women match to offset that Divas nonsense. We have the interpromotional Lesnar and Orton, so we can't really compare that. And then we have Ambrose Ziggler versus Finn and Seth. Very, very, both of those, if we want, we can split straws, split hairs on those. It looks like Kalisto and Corbin, and maybe SmackDown might add something else for a pre-show. I really don't care. It's just, it almost seems like SummerSlam is showing who's winning and who's losing. And even more shocking is Sheamus and Cesaro, while not on the pay-per-view, are getting this stupid best-of-7 push, which I'd love to see Cesaro in a best-of-7 with a real wrestler.
Which call it the worst of 7.
Yeah. With Sheamus involved, it probably will be, because I don't want to see 7 brogue kicks or 7 of them get reversed. But that is at least giving them something. Cesaro and Sheamus are quality wrestlers and talents, even if Sheamus is on the decline and can't find his way in a new era. Cesaro is quality. I won't let anyone tell me differently. And he's at least getting something while he's left off. Bray and Del Rio, upper mid card or lower main eventers, are not getting anything. They don't have a SmackDown rivalry. They don't have a match at SummerSlam. They have nothing. There are so many indications that what we thought was going to be a true competition has just turned into the redheaded stepchild move to Tuesday night. And this is when I'm going to open it up to everybody here. Can anybody disagree with that, with those facts, those arguments? Anybody have a different take on it that I'm not seeing?
Well, like Bob mentioned earlier, we do have a tag team match for SmackDown. That's the women's.
It's a throwaway, and it'll probably make the pre-show because out of looking at what we have
Bob's
there,
laughing.
no, out of looking at what we have on the card, I wouldn't move any of those to the pre-show. So what's going to go to the pre-show? 6 bullshit divas and Eva Marie not showing up and somebody else taking her place.
Right.
You know where that 6-woman match is going to end up? It's going to end up.
In
It's
a
going to
hot
end
tub?
up in between Dolph and Ambrose, and on the other side of that will be the world title for. It'll be Finn and Rollins. They'll put it in between those two matches as a buffer.
Piss
that
match.
way you can actually get excited again after that match.
I don't know. I see actually.
It'll be a crowd killer. It's an intentional crowd killer.
I see Miz and Apollo being that filler, unfortunately for me. The other thing to consider, though, is I did read, I didn't think it was qualified for the Mud Report, but I did read that Hunter was pushing Vince to make Brock Randy the show ender. And apparently it's not. Like, apparently Brock and Randy are not going to end SummerSlam.
I think it should be Seth and Finn. Absolutely.
Well, the report said that's what it's going to be because Vince has such a hard on for
and I
Vince.
disagree. I think Miz and Apollo will be either first or second.
I know you don't think your boy Jericho is not going to be the first match. I guarantee you that's the first match.
Yeah,
I would bet dollars to donuts that's the first
I'm
match.
not going to disagree with that. It's very well possible.
They need to open up with something good.
But I don't think
that'll open up with something good.
Those guys could potentially steal the show. You got to put them on early enough so that people can forget about them.
I don't know. I can't tell you that your opinion's wrong on this because this is just.
The evidence is compelling.
Yeah, well, it's like telling somebody over and over that the sky is blue, and they're like, no, it's red. No, it's red. No, it's red. I mean, the sky is blue here. And in this case, SmackDown is garbage. And I've only watched one. And then I've actually been following by listening to your guys' podcast about what happened. And if you guys who are watching it and supposed to be supporting it and talking about it and expanding the storylines to other people, other audiences to get them to care – and I don't care. It's not that we're failing at making you care about it for the WWE. It's about the WWE is making us not. They're failing to make us care. We are their second
voice. The problem
voice.
is they've got great pieces, but they've put the machine together wrong.
They didn't follow the instructions. The robot has a leg for an arm and a hand as a foot.
Right.
You know, that shit.
Yeah.
They wonder why they have a vacuum
running
cleaner.
properly.
It's like opening a business and you go active your first day of even thinking about doing it. You've got so many logistical things that you just.
We don't have any inventory, but we're open.
Yeah, come inside and I'll talk to you about how we're gonna be and after I lose my whatever. I'm just saying, yeah.
And the one defense I have to that is Raw didn't have to do anything. They really didn't lose any feuds because they kept so many people together. So that show could continue going on just with less people there to clutter up the storylines.
Right.
SmackDown has all these brand new pieces, brand new storylines, and the writers haven't found their voice yet for that show. I'm willing to give it
The voice of the voiceless?
3 or 4 months.
Well, here's something. Going back to what Juan was talking about earlier when he was like, get rid of Road Dogg. I couldn't agree with you more. That could be a major part of it. Because you think about Road Dogg, and I don't want to bash on him. I'm a fan of Road Dogg. I'll put that out there. But as a creative situation, Road Dogg followed the script that Hunter and Sean came up with, or Hunter whenever with DX. Road Dogg on his own didn't last because all he had was his entrance gimmick, kind of like Enzo. He didn't make it through. So why would you put somebody who was not actually that creative as somebody that's in charge of your creative?
Well, and one of the worst things that Road Dogg did that I know was he was a big influence on it, and I'm shocked that he was able to come back to WWE with it, was the Voodoo Kin Mafia, which if you take the initials of that was VKM, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. The whole thing was a shot against a shoot on Vince. And, maybe since as I'm listening to you guys talk, maybe freaking this is his way of going, watch this, I'm going to destroy you from the inside and creative. But the bottom line is I sign off on Hunter because Hunter came up in a great era and knows what it was about. How does Road Dogg at night think like, oh wow, this is great, when he was existing in that same era of greatness? You know, if we go on Bob Backlund's whole make SmackDown great again, or make WWE great again, well, fucking Road Dogg was there when it was great.
Yeah, but
how does he not know that what he's doing is not great?
But Road Dogg is a supporting character. And we have that with our show, even in our own personalities. I'm not the quickest guy to think of something to come back at you or to do as a project. You might come up with something first, and I'm like, that's great, and maybe I can enhance it. Road Dogg is an enhancer, but he's nothing more than that. He's not a creative mind. He never was.
Well, then if he's an enhancer, so now we give the wrestlers a pass and blame creative. Now we're going to give creative a pass and blame management for hiring them. Is that what you're saying?
No.
And I'm not blaming. The only blame I have is like I said, this is a new thing. We're on week 3.
This is
I'm
week
saying
4.
let's be. We've got all of these things that we expected from Raw and from old SmackDown, because essentially old SmackDown was just a continuation of Raw. This is its own entity now, and I think we're being a little too quick to compare it to the established thing that Raw was, and not.
No, you're right.
Give this a chance to grow organically.
But this is a $1 billion enterprise. This company has got departments for everything from ice cream department to creative department to HR to everything. This is
they have a white guy in cornrows doing creative.
Well, right. This is the kind of company that they
care a lot.
Right. It's the kind of company that they're not supposed to just do shit by the seat of their pants. They're supposed to have shit worked out. So to say, well, SmackDown's only 3 weeks old. No. If that's the case, then they should have started planning it beforehand, or before they actually started doing it. They didn't give it enough time. They didn't give enough planning to it. They didn't give enough storyline to the roster that they were going to draft. They were like, it's like a mad scramble. Oh, God, we got to split the brands. Vince gives us a week. So you take this guy, I take that guy, and we'll figure it out as we go.
That's
but
his
Raw
fault.
clearly has a plan and path. They are clearly pushing Braun Strowman and Nia Jax into something. They clearly have a path there. They have thrown even in an Ascension in the Ranks storyline for Cesaro, like, I might not be happy here. I might need to go to the other show. They've kind of thrown that angle in. They've thrown a bunch of different angles in the club, doing the whole. I don't know if Big E's really injured. I really don't know, because I haven't been on your show to know if that was
I
dirt
doubt
sheet.
it,
but this whole work with the doctors and Anderson and Gallows getting a little more time. Rusev and Jericho, who I was ready to get rid of, and Jericho ride off in the sunset, and Rusev me washing my hands with him. Since the brand split, Jericho's back to form, and Rusev has shown a different match than, hey, look at me, I'm big and dumb and get squashed.
The wild card here is Hunter. Hunter is the wild card. So we got a little extra.
But if Hunter's the wild card, is it just waiting for Vince to go catatonic in the nursing home?
You got to know that Hunter sat back, watches NXT guys match rate, and had ideas or daydreams about what they would do when they got to the main roster. So now that he got Stephanie's ear. Stephanie's running Raw for the most part, I think. I think Vince is probably doing a little bit more hands-off. Stephanie is like, here, go. This is the stuff Hunter wants to do. We'll do it with you, and it's working. Would Vince, I don't know where he's in this, but it feels like SmackDown. I don't know what my point is here. I'm losing my train of thought, honestly.
Well, my thing is this, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but in my personal experience, my grandfather passed away. Just like everybody does when they get old. His will had a bunch of crazy fucking stipulations that he's been gone close to 10 years, that some of them we still have to jump through those hoops of because of his will. Are we not worried that as controlling and stuff Vince is, that he doesn't have a team of fucking lawyers working around the clock, so that when he is either dementiaed out and can't make decisions anymore, or when he is actually 6 feet under, he doesn't have a literal power struggle? Like, for all we know, this could be like the James Brown family, where they're fucking fighting over where the body can go, and it's just sitting in a morgue instead of in the ground. Like, do we know where the ship is going to go? Do we know that it's Shane, that it's Stephanie, that it's Hunter? Do we not know? I don't know how old the kids are. I think they're way too young, the grandkids. But he could have been like, fuck you, Shane and Stephanie and Hunter. I'm going to leave it to a grandkid, and he gets to make all the calls, and we have a 13-year-old in charge of the universe just because that was Vince's final fuck you to everybody.
Right.
Like, we don't know what we're in store for. And for all we know, when Vince is gone, it could get much worse.
Yeah, I don't know. Juan says, first he says, I'm sorry Road Dogg cannot manage. He killed Paige's career. I don't know if that's all on Road Dogg. I understand why you'd be saying that from the interactions we've seen on Total Divas. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I'll go with you. He also says, I'm sorry to say this. In the business, there are no friends, and at the end of the day, people are accountable. But the talent is not accountable. The talent has talent, but they're not being. They're actors, and they are given a script and a role to play. Upload Test says everyone bashing SmackDown, but wait till the USA Network tells Vince to make it 3 hours. He has plans recorded on microchip and a virtual Vince ready to give orders when he passes. Okay, so
now, if you add some more talent and add an hour, I would like to see an even draft, an even playing field, because the big thing is no matter what you want to say, it's getting close to 2-1, maybe 2.5-1.
Yeah,
matches from Raw versus matches of SmackDown, and when you can't showcase that many people, it's really, really tough, and that's going to be the end of it. We're going to quickly, because we're running long, guys. We only got 2 segments left. It's our SummerSlam predictions. Kiera and I wrote ours down, so we're going to just have Bob kind of go through them, and we'll announce ours as we go. Down the card, don't forget we did add 3 takeover matches to this prediction. I'm going to go first, and I'll give mine and Kiera's because she had to step away. We're starting, Bob, with Finn and Rollins. Of course, by the way, audience, go back and listen to the Rawsome podcast from yesterday to get the rest of the marked out Cruise predictions. I'm going to go with Finn and Seth Rollins. I got Finn. So does Kiera. Bob, what do you got?
I'm going to go Finn.
I mean, it's just inevitable, it seems like right now.
Yeah.
Especially if he's got Vince's seal of approval. Next up, I can guess where Bob's going to go with this. Me and Kiera went with Dean, but Ambrose and Ziggler.
Oh, Dean.
Okay. What? Since I've got to ask for a little more than just the normal on this one, Bob, since you're such a Ziggles. What does Ziggles do with this push after he loses?
He's the heel. He becomes a pretty significant heel on the show.
Oh God, Bob, get off it.
Okay, that's the first time you lost me, Bob, on the whole thing.
No, I think this is the thing that pushes him over the edge. And I think he goes full on into heel territory.
I don't think it would matter. I mean, how big is this edge? I want to. Yeah, he's been pushed over the edge so many times.
Yeah, when you play jump rope with the line, it's hard to figure out what side you are on it.
Right.
Bob, you can break the tie here. Me and Kiera split on Orton and Brock. Kiera's got Brock.
Orton.
I've got Orton.
It's Orton.
Okay.
Ooh. So you're very decisive there. Is there a reason why?
Is it because Brock can't pay in a cup without
well,
testing
let him
positive?
Answer, fuckhead. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, motherfucker.
This is my show. I'll do what I want. Jackass, this isn't Monday.
Go ahead, Bob.
I think that due to interference, it's Orton's win.
You think? What do you think?
And if that interference, and I think that interference is going to be Brock. I mean, it's going to be Goldberg.
Yeah.
Well, Brock and Goldberg had that match that WWE, when they put it out on DVD, had to take off the sound.
And I don't know. Did you guys talk about the fact that there was a video put up by Brock? And
I mentioned it very briefly that there was a little Brock and Heyman, and they took the video down, and now it's back up 24 hours later. He was basically a shoot on Goldberg. And
I think an interference in that match is catastrophic for Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Randy needs to win clean. Now, if afterwards you want to have Goldberg come out, I'm fine with it. Kiera, we're back, so you can actually tell me your prediction. I got AJ against Cena. Who do you got?
I picked AJ.
You also have AJ. Any reason why?
Bob, simply because Cena is we've already seen that episode before. I think it's high time and I know AJ has defeated Cena before, but I just see AJ taking the reign.
Yeah, my reason is very simple. I mean, I saw Medine pick Cena, so I've got to go against that one. That's a dumb pick.
If you could tell me Medine's picks, this will make it really quick for me.
You just want to pick against him.
Hey, don't forget about Adam at Mania now. He's been lucky the last 2.
Hey,
but
I'm going for a 3-peat here, so my picks matter the most.
All right.
Charlotte and Sasha. Bob, what do you got?
Charlotte.
Ooh. Outside the box there.
I think she's supposed to be taking time off.
Yeah,
is
she
a
is.
big rumor.
So that's a dumb pick, Bob. Kira and I both have Sasha.
Sasha.
You hear that, Bob? It's a dumb pick. you
Kira,
stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot. Go to stupid idiotville. Rusev, Roman, Kira, what do you got?
I picked Rusev.
Why? Because he just got married.
What the fuck
No.
does that have to do with it?
I'm asking her why, because she just goes, I got Rusev. I'm just trying to get something else.
No, you know what? Yeah, if you want to add that in, yeah, he's winning right now. He's got the spouse. He's got the beautiful wife.
He didn't even defend her honor.
And I see Roman being hushed away.
I don't think Roman's
while.
done being punished.
Yeah. My answer is very simple. Rusev is going to win because he lost on Monday night.
Yeah. But they've been doing a good job about pushing Rusev the last couple of weeks.
They have.
I've actually given a shit about him.
It's weird.
I mean, that match was complete garbage, and I
Right.
begged for it to be over. But
the matches without Roman, he's been good in.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What do you got, Bob?
Upload test. I already got all your damn predictions. Go ahead. Sorry, Bob.
I got Rusev.
Okay. Rusev.
Okay.
Remember, I predicted
Rusev
last week
Casa.
that this is going to make Roman and
Ruru.
Rollins
Make a Roman
reunite.
Ruru.
Oh, I hope you're fucking wrong. New Day versus the Club. Bob.
New Day.
New Day rocks. That's who I got. Carrie, who do you got?
I picked. Oh, I said Club.
Yeah, you picked the Club. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's on the board right there.
I couldn't. Rob was dancing all in my
Bob picked
face.
New Day.
Why? I
Because
just
they rock.
Is that why Bob picked New Day? Because they rock.
Yeah. Bob, do you have any reason why you picked New Day?
They're selling way too much merch.
Yeah, I picked New Day because I think Big E's going to return, and that's going to be the difference.
Okay. Cool.
That was my only reasoning. But, in the rematch, Rob, since you're thinking that the Club is going to grow on the show, maybe in the rematch they get a third member. Enzo and Cass versus Jericho, Bob.
Enzo and Cass.
Enzo and Cass, Kara.
With Cass getting the pin.
Ooh.
I had Enzo Cass.
All right, I got Enzo and Cass too, so that's a sweep. Kira, start us off here. Miz and Apollo. We only got a couple more matches.
I'm gonna
then
go
we
with
to
Apollo.
TakeOver. Apollo.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Miz because I just don't believe they're gonna put Apollo over. What do you got, Bob?
Miz, because Apollo has zero charisma.
Ooh.
Aw.
Oh.
Downer, Bob.
Dude,
All right.
the only person who smiles more than him is Uncle Ben. Okay.
No, Natalia.
Yeah. He has no charisma and he smiles too goddamn much.
Oh, you mean Uncle Ben like the rice guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, that is
You
what
had to
he
go
meant.
for the black reference, didn't
And
you?
Sarah-
He's in
Oh,
Memphis.
I did. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
He's in Memphis, yeah.
He can't help it.
And Sarah from Tough Enough. That bitch smiled too much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Now, whenever I think of cheese eating grin, it's always Uncle Ben. 'Cause that dude's happy.
Yeah. Now we're gonna go through the quickly the 3 title matches at NXT Takeover. We got Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We got Bayley versus Asuka, and we got the Revival versus Gargano and Ciampa.
Pick me.
All right, Kiara, go for all 3.
I'm going to go for Nakamura simply because I think it's high time for Samoa Joe to come onto the main roster.
If Cena's taking time off, it makes sense, but I
Yes.
still think it's early for Shinsuke. He just debuted at Mania on NXT. He just debuted.
That was
Yeah,
like
dude, he's so goddamn over.
that was like 4 months
Well,
ago.
He was over before he arrived, Bob. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
What do you got for the other 2, Kiara?
I have if Rob could move his arm. Sorry. I have Asuka winning over on
You
Bayley.
can't remember what you picked?
I can't even see the category because Rob's like arms in the way.
All right, you got Asuka.
I picked Asuka. And last one, I have Revival winning. For the tag team match.
I think I could be wrong. I have Gargano and Ciampa. I think it's time to put them over. I think Asuka wins because I think Bayley is getting ready to make the jump to Raw
That
to take
too,
Charlotte's
yep.
spot while Charlotte takes time off. And I think I picked Joe, but if Cena's taking time off, I'd pick Shinsuke too because if I knew for sure Cena was taking time off, SmackDown needs Joe. They need him and AJ to do what they can do.
What a horrible thing that would be if they put Bayley on Raw. What a smack to the face to SmackDown.
The only thing I could think of is they're because Charlotte. The vacancy is the only reason I would put her on that show. And then I picked Gargano and Ciampa, like I said. Bob, what do you got for those 3 matches?
Nakamura, Asuka, and the Revival.
That's what I had.
All right, so
NAR.
I am going for a 3-peat.
Wait, we need all right, upload test. I got you for Nakamura. We need you for Asuka and Revival match. So, yeah.
Go ahead and respond to those. We're going to get Brian's picks from him, hopefully not from the hospital bed, and somewhere else, warm and fuzzy and sunny and having a good time. Do not forget to tune in to our show so that you can witness me do a 3-peat. We're going to have our SummerSlam reaction show live to you this Sunday is when we're going to do that. Final thoughts is where we're finally at. Final thoughts for the night. Rob, thank you for helping work the board in Brian's absence.
Yeah.
What?
Quick question, guys. The marked out draft is this Sunday.
Yes, I will fix that.
Is that still a thing that's happening?
I will fix that. We're trying to do a marked out fantasy league. I have to fix that anyway because some of our patrons have not joined in. Upload test. If you want into our fantasy football league, come join us right now. It's currently just the hosts and our buddy Timmy and our buddy Dan from Memphis. That's about it right now. We're waiting on Hank Hill to join us.
Yeah.
Or maybe Joker.
He said he's definitely in. I just got to get him through.
Okay. So we'll push that back, Bob. Way to call us out on air for
No, not us. Way to call Adam out.
Well, I'm going to say us because I can do no wrong.
We're going to have a live show, and I'm like, are y'all going to do the draft during the live show?
No, we're not. Just, God damn it. You ruin everything.
You're the one who decided to plan some shit on a fucking paper.
Can you mute him? Can you mute him? What the fuck?
Nope, I absolutely cannot.
All right. Rob, you're going to start us off with final thoughts. Thanks for taking Brian's place.
Yeah, I just want to say final thoughts. It's good to be active on the show. I look forward to after SummerSlam and we start to kind of mix up the crews a little bit and get a little bit more free reign to talk to each other like we used to. So I'll just say in honor of sitting in Brian's seat wearing his hat tonight, I'll just finish by saying this. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh. Huh.
Right on. Huh. Nice.
We miss you, Brian.
Yeah, we miss those segues. Nobody and ums like you do. Bob, I'll let you follow. We'll keep the bald heads in the front.
I just, once again, I appreciate you guys inviting me onto the show. I like being an unofficial member of the A team on the B show.
Awesome.
I like that. The A team on the B show. That should be another one of our slogans. He's really good at labeling things. Like when he said the SmackDown should be the "We don't know what to do with you All Stars."
Yeah,
he's really good at.
He's really good at that. He's really bad at assessing talent, but he's really good at that.
Yeah, I mean maybe it's not the B team because
I love you, Ziggler.
Okay, all right. So
you just had to poke that bear.
If you want to talk about how bad I am at assessing talent, when I used to do the radio show here in Memphis. There was a wrestler that came out that I was like, oh, this guy's going to be next. And I fucking said on the air that Chris Masters, I could see him headlining a WrestleMania one day.
Oh, hell yeah. I was saying the same thing.
Oh, they didn't let me live that shit down for 3 fucking years.
Bob, I think this was you and I that talked about it for a long time. The Chris Masters not selling the arm in a tag match, and so Taker went in there and broke it.
Just went there and snapped the fucking arm in Germany, yeah.
He just went in, he was yelling, sell the arm, sell the arm. I think it was a Brothers of Destruction versus Carlito and Masters match. And he said, Kane, tag me in. Kane went over, tagged him in. Taker went in there and fucking busted his arm and broke it. Masters had a lawsuit, and that's how he left. He had a lawsuit for years against WWE. He settled with them for a year contract where they didn't put him on air and just paid him for a year to go away.
I didn't know that shit.
It was great.
Broke his arm in Germany.
Yeah, Kiera, your final thought.
Like my main thing is just what's going on with Bray. I'm getting more and more depressed about this situation. So
I really thought he would be one of the ones to benefit from this brand split.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was totally...
He's just kind of giving up, not hanging out with his friends anymore, growing dreads.
Yeah, he is growing dreads. He really is. And the other thing I had was Eva Marie. I'll hit back on that briefly. The only thing I can say is that the only thing I can say is that it's obvious that Vince or creative or whoever is behind this whole thing is that they don't want her. They don't want her like to matter at all. Like she's. They don't want her to be any type of significance to the show.
It seems to me like she's getting all the attention.
Yeah. If they don't want her to matter, then it's a success. If they're just trying to throw away airtime, it's a success.
If they don't want her to matter, then like you said, it's turned into a success for her. So
no, the best thing about her was it Utlo Test or Juan? I don't know which one said it. Is her announcer? That's it. And he's the same guy from the Vaudevillains, and the way they're making Vaudevillains' job lately. I feel like that's the only good thing about them as well.
Also, I do think Apollo Creed is taking his character and his gimmick into a different direction.
Yeah, is that movie you want to see?
Yeah, hopefully he does it before he gets killed by the Russian.
Apollo Crews.
Yeah. Dude, that would be amazing storyline to have Rusev kill Apollo Crews. He's got Lana. Lana looks like a shorter version of Brigitte Nelson, who was Dolph's wife in there. Oh, they should totally do that. Have him come out, put a fake mustache on, give him the red, white, and blue trunks. That'd be great.
And he's got to pretend to lay there, pretending to be dead, but yet he's still smiling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could drop him like Owen Hart style.
Damn, Adam.
My final thought is this. I threw a segment in tonight with Bob, and we decided we had to cancel it because, unfortunately, he didn't give us as much material as he did last week. Last week, Mauro Ranallo. Hold on, Bob. Mauro Ranallo showed up Michael Cole. He was one shining star. It's not fucking Puerto Rico or the Cologne cousins. The one shining star of SmackDown was Mauro Ranallo last week. And this week, he didn't really have much. Bob got one. I think I know what it is. I didn't write it down because I thought it was soft compared to last week. And I do mean SAWFT. But, Bob, what did you got for Mauro there?
Mr. Robot just got renewed by the USA Network, and Randy is acting like he just got hacked.
Wow.
So, I mean, I like that. That's a much better way. I'm glad you used that as an example. The segment for Mauro Ranallo that we want to make is called Showing Up Cole. It'll probably work better if we can get some audio clips there. But he shows up Michael Cole. He just did a plug for Mr. Robot Season 2. And in the middle of it, he also plugged Randy and stuff. He did a great segue. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like he was reading from a prompter. Like, he can even pull off the commercial bullshit in a good way, that what they want. Maybe not the way the sponsors want, so maybe that's something that they'll fix. I don't know. But he still is. I wish I could get Corey alongside of him instead of JBL. I know you wish you could get him alongside Corey instead of Michael Cole, but like that's the one thing that's a little bit missing. Well, what else we got?
Just one little comment here from an Upload Test. Horrible editing job.
Throwing Brian under the bus on his own show.
Right.
Wow.
This is the best look we've had of Kiera so far. She can debut as Alicia Fox's cousin. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
I think I'm a little...
Her booty's a little bit bigger.
A little big, and she didn't have that massive forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a big forehead.
Her booty's closer to Naomi's.
Anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It is closer to Naomi's.
Yeah, it's like a shelf.
Can I just throw in one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
My final thought is, it's
final?
amazing to me that my show, my Raw is an hour longer than your SmackDown, but your fucking podcast is an hour longer than mine.
There's
Always.
more. Says the guy who, when we looked at it this morning, your podcast was 4.5 hours long because you were doing shots last night. And left
that is not the that is not the reason. That is absolutely not the reason, Ryan. You fucking know better.
The last time it went long like that with shots.
You know it has nothing to do with that. You know better. Whatever. There was a legitimate reason for that. You fuck.
Well, I mean, we
jackass.
Unlike you,
I texted Adam about that this morning. Adam texted me back. I'm not fucking listening to them that long.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not doing my research.
I started the feed at the beginning of Raw because we were having problems getting the feed up, and I wanted to get it going so it was there.
Well, the other problem, and I probably need to do a better job of this, is just look at the damn time, because I'm sitting over here.
You need a clock.
Yeah.
You need a ticker.
Yeah, I need a ticker. But anyway, I thank you guys for joining us tonight. Tune in, especially on Sunday, for our SummerSlam reaction show. And then we got some surprises in store after that, where we're going to jump in on each other's shows, guest hosting here and there. Keep our segments where they are. We'll just send our opinions basically to the other show for a week or so. Maybe even we'll double duty it one week. You never know. For Kira, for Rob, for Bob from Memphis, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week in the same Smart time, same Smart channel.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is recorded, edited, distributed, and marketed at U-Record Studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. For more information on optimizing your podcast for increased listenership, check out U-Record on Facebook, Twitter, and email sales@urecordstudios.com or visit the website www.urecordstudios.com.
Yes! 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 Yes!
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.